All the things.
All right, there's more coming in. Welcome, welcome.
Say, I have a question.
Go for it.
It's my first time visiting the meeting. I'm so excited. And I missed so many sessions, and I have something at 11 today. Is it 3 hours you girls usually share?
Gonna
At
go for
least.
3 hours
Okay.
today.
So if I just take off at 11, nobody will feel like
Oh, you're so
taking
sweet.
personal. I just want to let you
We'll
Oh,
send you on the replay, so you won't miss anything. You'll get all of the replays as well. Make sure you are signed in on the front page. But again, we'll send you. If you're getting our emails, then you'll get the replay. But thank you for joining us live.
yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody else that has questions like that, you also can purchase the entire event. The real live stream, we're going to probably archive after it's done, the raw, and we'll just keep some of the speaker footage, just so you know what that's
Okay.
for anybody else. I mean, but y'all get the replays right after.
Mhm.
So thanks for joining us.
Okay.
12 days of epic talk. Okay, now we're ready. Let's go ahead and start the recording. I'm gonna mute you, Deb, so we have a clean thing. All right, here we go. Ready? Okay. Hey, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Thackert, and this is my co-host, Lianka Reina, and this is the Hot Hustle Show. Today, we're talking with Masami Covey, and she's going to enlighten us on the dark moon and our cycles, and also want to talk with her a little bit about metabolic energy. I've read something on her site and I was like, what? But it's always that about you. It's always like, wow, she just takes everything a whole lot deeper. I wanted to share, Masami, we met on my show last November. And if you do sign up, you guys, for the extra pass to get all the recordings, you also will get the recordings from our event last November. She was just blew my mind. And there's something about her that makes you feel like you just want to give her a really warm hug as she completely rocks your world, both in the real world, how to change things in a real, nutrition, functional nutrition kind of way, as well as the energetics of the entire system. I mean, I know that wasn't as clean as I could have said it, but that's how it is. So Masami, welcome. Was it good? All right.
Fantastic. Thank you, you two beautiful women. And it's the
Thank you.
third day, and you look even more gorgeous than the first day. So that I don't know how you do it.
Thank you. Well, we are going to talk the dark moon and moon cycles and a little bit of menopause stuff too today. Masami, I would like to start with the dark moon. You sent me a text and you're like, we need to talk about the dark moon. And I was actually going to just jump on the phone with you right then. And I was like, no, I think this is something that we need to share with all the audience. So I would love for you to step in and start
What day
there.
was that she sent the text?
Was that like Tuesday or was that like Monday? Maybe
Of
Monday.
this week? Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about dark moon? When is it starting?
No, when you sent the text about dark moon, I was just trying to see what the energy was.
You said we're in that cycle now, and I kind of got a vibe that I was like, jump, I want to hear it. And then I was like, no, wait, I want to hear it on the actual call. I feel like everyone needs to hear this. So
yeah, well, I think I was texting you saying that we are still going to be talking about the dark moon, and the dark moon actually starts today. Today. That's why.
And that might have been why we scheduled it for today,
Right.
back in December.
Right. Because we looked at the calendar and I said, this is the dark moon period I want to be on then. So today is the start of this beautiful dark moon phase. And I don't know, many of you do pay attention to the dark moon phase, but it's probably the most important phases, out of all the phases of the moon cycles, I think, especially for perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopausal women, because this is really the time that you can feel that connection to her energy, meaning the moon's energy, far more than the new moon or even the full moon. New moon is kind of like, I would say, an anomaly, of the moon cycles. So new moon set aside for this gorgeous practice that you can bring in, but dark moon is leading up to the new moon, right? And this is the time that I like to start the moon journey from the dark moon. And I like to begin by ending things. And we're not very good at ending things, like if you look back at your history, like I can tell you, I'm not good at ending. I do not. Traumatizing for me to say goodbyes to people, because I had to say goodbye in a very awkward ways so many times in my childhood, having to move across Pacific Ocean and move to a country that I didn't even speak a word of English, all that, but also having to say goodbye to my brother when I was only 7 and he was 11 and never saw him again for like decades, things like that. Just, it's really tough for me to say goodbye. But as I'm in postmenopause, I am really appreciating the beauty of ending and the beauty of completion. But most of the times, we hear about moon cycles and everybody's like, yes, we're going to start thinking about our intentions and the next goal, and you're going to start writing down. And I'm like, hold it, people. What have you completed? What have you released? What have you been able to expand within you? And I think the moon has shifted so much in my life now that I'm in postmenopause, meaning I've shifted with the relationship that I have with the moon. And so the dark moon is the time when you really want to acknowledge who you are, especially those of you women out there in perimenopause and upward. Really, and younger too, but acknowledge and notice how far you've come through your challenges and traumas and rocky roads that you've been on, not rocky roads, ice cream. I've done that too, but, just be really stop, pause, and recognize and get a little bit good at as you go into the second half of your life with ending and appreciating the cycles ending. So that's kind of the dark moon period. And I will say maybe a couple more things and then I can pause. So, we can go into conversations here. But dark moon phase is called the balsamic moon phase. And so I just want you to imagine like balsamic vinegar that you have at home and how that distillations, how that's made takes a long time to make balsamic vinegar as well. It's a beautiful art, and the density of that taste is pretty, powerful, right? In your mouth, you have to like dilute it with other things to eat it. You can't just pour that all over your salad and I mean, you could, but so the whole point of the balsamic moon phase is it's like you're tapping into what are you extracting, how are you going to become this gorgeous essence, because you are attending to yourself again, reflecting on yourself and say, I am that distillation of who I am that I've come so far from. The decades and decades of who I am is what's showing up during the dark moon. And most of us just skip over that and say, what's next? What's next? I mean, if you live in the Western cultures, that is basically the message, right? It's like progress. What's next? What's your next plan? How are you going to go forward? But I think this is where growing up in Asian cultures have really helped me to balance the past and the future. And then I'll say one more thing about the word in Japanese is called Zen or Mae. Okay, Mae means both the past and the future. That one word means it holds both. So there's really no timeline in terms of I'm only linearly going forward. But one thing about the moon is that there's a past and the future, and it goes round and round and round. So it's that circular motions is what the moon is teaching us every time. So, I recommend you spend some time looking into what is the gift that the eye put into a bottle of your own choice of balsamic vinegar. What would that be? What would you add to your essence? What would be the bottle that can hold who you are, and squeeze out the essence, squeeze out the beauty into that and see what comes out of it, because that potency of who you are really surfaces during the dark moon. So please don't, start writing things like my next intention is. Stop, everyone, especially women. Please stop this idea of what's next, what's my goal, how do I accomplish, how do I get to the next place, how do I manifest? It's like you've already manifested you've already manifested who you are up to this point. So first celebrate before you start to
I was gonna ask,
scrutinize that goal again. Okay.
Sami, is that because it's almost like we're not honoring ourselves fully when we're running out to look for the next manifestation? I mean, many times, and I'm very guilty of just what's next, and going, okay, what's my next intention, without really stepping back and say, okay, I've just done this, or I just did that, or just be, like you said, the celebration, just have that win and honor what we do, because a lot of times we do a lot to get things done and to have those celebrations and those wins.
And I do think it's also really important for us to have this essence of our vision that we're always have there, that we can attract forward. It doesn't have to be like, hey, it's beginning yoga, let's start an intention. I do think it's important for us to
Yeah.
focus on that being energy of what we want to create in the world. Thoughts?
Oh,
Yeah, thoughts for
yeah,
you.
yes and no. Yes and no. I think it's just we need to pause a little
Yeah.
bit more, so this is the pause between the inhales and exhales, right? And then it's the pause between the exhale going into the inhale. So that's kind of what we're doing. And intentions are great. You can always hold on to it, but there are days that we need to just even have an empty hands, so the Rumi talks about the fists and the open hands. And if you're always open, then that's going to hurt. Try walking around with your hands like this all day long, or walk around with just like this all day long. So it's not either or. This is like a figure eight that's going on. It's always doing this, always doing this. And in the dark moon, it's just kind of like right in between. So it's a time of liminal space. It's the time of not knowing. So you don't even have to hold the intentions
That's
to me.
awesome.
Just empty out the space a little bit. We're not good at emptying things out. I mean, goodness, my closet needs to be empty now. I was just looking at it yesterday. I was like, come on, how come I have all these sweaters I don't wear anymore? So it's kind of that liminal space of emptying out. It's not the time of you aggressively doing things either, but I think it's a time of clearing. It's a time of reflections. I think we don't reflect enough as a society. We are always constantly looking forward. So, I just pulled up a quote that I love. This one is Margaret Wetley or Weatherly. No, it's like, I think Weatherly is how you say it, but she's an American writer and a speaker. But she says, without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful. So it's okay to hold intentions, but maybe during a dark moon, hold it softly. hold it super lightly. So it's like if you scoop the water and you can still hold on to the water, but some of them will come through your fingers, right? That's kind of how I like to hold intentions during this time. So it's not so hard.
That's how money works too. I usually describe money like that. Look, you can't really hold on to an intention anyway. It's more about being a frequency that attracts. And I really feel like with money, money, it's like water. It literally is that same frequency, and you can't like put it in your hand, it'll just seep through. So I wonder if there's some frequency relation here with currency and wealth with these cycles. Masami, you have some thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, I think you brought up the word currency, and that's perfect, right?
So,
Currency, if you look up the definition of currency, I'm sure it includes flow and
mm,
movements, right?
Mhm.
It's the river. I mean, you look at the words like that, and then you know that you can't dam it up, or you can't have a dam break to the point that it's just flooding the whole entire village either, so it's just that middle way. I think I'm learning that more and more as I land deeper and deeper into the postmenopausal time. For me, is this used to be like, oh, middle way, what a cliche, it's like, oh, I've read plenty of books on Zen books and all these spiritual books on the middle way. And then I get it now. I get it so much more because it's the figure eight. It's this right as when you're coming into the middle. That's the middle way.
Mhm.
And you swing far sometimes, but you come back in. You go to the other depth, but then you come back in, so currency is what life is about, and currency can be described as a flow. It could be your lymphatic system is flowing. It could be that the colon is moving through the toxins that you need to poop out in the morning. It could be the bladder that is working nicely. It could be the hormonal flow. It could be the lymphatic system in your brain that is flushing things out all throughout the night because you go to bed at a reasonable time and allow the different wavelengths to come in. So yeah, money to me is a friend, just
mm,
as the drinking water is my soul friend.
Mhm.
Air is a soul friend. Money is just another form of elements. It's just one of those elements. It could be earth, it could be air, it could be water, it could be wood, it could be metal. And money is a part of the metal, right? So in Chinese medicine, so it's just a part of that flow. And I think when you can live with this cycles of things, that there are such things as cycles in the world, circadian rhythm, circalunar rhythm, there's a tidal rhythms. They are waking, and so the sunlight and the darkness cycles, that comes from circadian rhythm, but there are rhythms within the Chinese organ clocks as well. It's like you want to get up at a certain time so that your lungs can do their jobs, and you want to wake up at a certain time or start moving so your colon can do its job. So there are always these movements. I think when we get stagnant in anything, food choices, eating the same thing all the time. I used to work with these clients that I had to fire them. I'm like, why are you not eating different things based on the season? But, I had this one yogini that just would come and see me, and she'd just be shivering. She's so cold, and she's drinking these like spinach and kale and celery juice in middle of January. And I'm like, that is not a flow, you know.
mm.
So I think moving through seasonality and the money fits into one of those. So I don't separate money from anything else. Really, it's everything and anything. And when you start separating them and calling them, this is more important than the other thing, well, guess what? You can have all the money in the world. Okay. You could be $1 trillion in your bank. You have, but if you don't have clean water, good luck to having the flow in your life. Right. So I think money can be a part of the essence of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love how you put that. Well, let's talk a little bit about menopause here. I, This is a topic that I haven't really gone there because I hadn't hit that age where it meant anything to me, right? And now I finally hit that beginning of perimenopausal, and the only symptom I really have is a little less hair loss. So I'm doing okay, but I'm like, you know what? That's still a symptom that I'm not so loving about it. So I kind of want to just, where do we start with this conversation?
Well, I'm glad you're bringing this up because I think number one, the middle way conversation. So let's talk about that. So think of this figure eight kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
but we do live in this society, especially in a Western society, where there's a lot of pressure, and I point this out to my husband all the time. I'm like, look at that actress versus look at that actor. It's like he gets to be all wrinkly and shriveled up like a, shriveled up plum. And he still is like making movies and everybody loves this actor. But then, oh my gosh, look at the women, the pressure we have to go through. So I think individually we owe it to ourselves as well as to the community of women that are going to be going through menopause. This is one thing that is guaranteed for all of us, is that as women, we are going to go through, if you have a female body, you are going to go through perimenopause and menopause. And then after you stop menstruating for 12 months, you are officially in postmenopause. I mean, that's just how it is. But I think let's hold the expectations once again, not gripping. Okay. We're not going to have the same kind of hair that you had when you were 17 years old. You're just not going to.
Holding on
You're,
to it.
what is it?
I mean, as we talk about flow and currency and letting go and ending, I find myself wanting to hold on to my youth instead of embracing the now,
Mhm, I get that.
right?
Right. So I think it's the figure eight thing. You're going to have days that you're like, oh my gosh, look at my neck. Like I'm,
It's so funny. I just
I
said
said
that
that
earlier.
this morning.
Yeah.
I was telling my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, the hormones do have impacts on me. And then so you go into this one extreme and you start like microscopically looking at your neck and pulling and going, what's
Yes.
going on? Right. And then you soften that stance a little bit and get, all right, it's all right, Masami. This is just a part of life. Okay. And then you can say, however, I have knowledge, right? So somebody that practices in the health field like I do, I have a tremendous amount of knowledge. And I want to share, okay, one of the things that you can do for your neck is really work on your progesterone. So then I pull out my progesterone, bioidentical progesterone cream, and I put that on my neck and my thyroid, because my thyroid is loving the projection that's coming up. And what is it?
Yes. Yes.
That is coming into, see that there's a little brain fog that happens, as menopause. That's all right. Progesterone cream loves to be around the neck. So I'm like, okay, well, I will do that. Right. And before I got on the call, I'm like, oh, you know what? For my brain, I probably should do just a little bit of the bioidentical estrogen. So I did E3 and E2, and I put that applications on a little bit of outside of the vaginal area. And that's the best way to apply bioidentical hormones. So I'm doing that so that my brain can function. Brain loves estrogen because there's estrogen receptor sites everywhere in your body, but brain especially needs that and love that. And progesterone also is very, very helpful for the brain function. So that's the balance that I'm talking about in terms of the figure eight, is that you can complain and you can look at it and you go, oh my God, well, there'll be a day that a couple of days out of the month, you're going to feel like, oh gosh, I am getting older. When I parted my hair this way today, because as many of you that have been following me, I part this way and that way, and I go back and forth, depends, right? But when I parted it, I saw, oh, here comes my white hair a little bit,
Yes.
and then I thought, oh, have I taken, have I been really keeping up with my zinc this week? And I thought, yeah, you know what? I've been doing a pretty good job with my zinc orotate. So I think I'm good this morning. So, I can kind of settle down my emotions around it. And so I acknowledge it, I see it, but I have a knowledge with the physiology. And that's, I think, the next cutting edge of body, mind, spirit, and soul is that you become educated in what this is. This beautiful, beautiful, I don't even want to call it the vehicle, okay? This gift that you get to occupy every day. Go out there and learn. Go out and learn. Follow my work. Follow other people that are talking about this and learn as much as you can so that you don't get stuck in this side of the figure eight, but you get to come back around, and you will do it. You will do this. Okay.
That's fascinating.
We had a question on the chat that asked, what foods would you recommend during the dark moon cycle?
Ooh, such a good question. Okay, so the dark moon cycle time, you want to watch out a little bit with too much oxalic acid foods.
Write this stuff down. Like I need
I
to.
know. Here, have a pencil.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a walking.
We'll put some of this on the tweet.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a walking encyclopedia. I'm sure the people that have been following me will let you know that. But yeah, so oxalic acid foods they tend to be nuts and seeds. So avoid those. I'm going to start with avoid. Okay. So you want to do little less of that during the dark moon period. So too many nuts and seeds, I mean, if you want to go down that road of nuts and seeds, I'll be more than happy to take on that topic too. But I have to say that we are over consuming nuts and seeds. Okay. Without the preparation that the nuts and seeds require. So nuts and seeds are very high in these acids called oxalic acid that can bind with calcium and other minerals like zinc and magnesium. So you could be taking magnesium supplements, you could be doing magnesium liquids, you could be doing calcium, you could be doing D3, and you could be doing K2. But the thing is, maybe your bone density is struggling. Then you do need to be looking at too much oxalic acid foods can bind with these very important macro minerals. And these are the electrolytes, really. So then you can start to experience like stiff joints around this time, the month of the moon cycles. You could be experiencing maybe bone issues. It could be osteoporosis, osteopenia, but you could be having arthritic things that will flare up. That's maybe partially you might be consuming too much nuts and seeds without soaking them.
Yeah.
And also you might be eating too much legumes and grains. So this is the time of the month that I would really encourage all of us women to cut back on that kind of consumptions and stop snacking on nuts and seeds. And even things like hemp seeds, chia seeds, those can be really tough on our bodies, particularly this time. So then what you want to eat is like, I love making really nice big pot of soup with, roast in there. If you're going to do beans and things like that, you have to be soaking those beans, cook them really, really well. I would add maybe a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to cook it, or put half a lemon and lemon juice in there to cook it if you're going to be eating beans this time the moon cycles. But making yourself really nice, roast and making soups and having good cooked vegetables, so you're not doing a bunch of salads. Okay. When it's darkening, you don't want to be going for things that are so much raw. Okay. Raw salads are not meant to be eaten every day of the entire year, let alone in the cycles of the moon, right? And if you're in the northern hemisphere, not everybody's in the northern hemisphere, but is this the time that you should be eating a huge salad? The answer is no. Okay, we're still not in equinox, so I never do detox programs, cleanse programs in January and February. People are always like, oh, after the holidays, we have to do the cleanse and detox. And I'm
Right.
like, are you nuts? This is the coldest time of the year, and you're going to put yourself through that kind of a stress? No. Right. So think of dark moon as like maybe in January and February kind of a sense, right? Then maybe that will help you to kind of understand what the dark moon is about.
And this kind of eating is good for any gender, correct?
Any gender, any gender. Yeah. But my clientele is mostly women now. I used to work with all men. How funny is that, right? When I used to have my own office in Denver area, it was 90, I counted, and I think percentage was about 96% were all men. And the CEOs and government officials, and it's just like they were all men. And then now I have shifted, because I have shifted towards the feminine energy, because I was so pulled on this side of the yang side, the masculine side, the right side, the bright side. There's nothing, I mean, this is nothing to do with gender per se, but I was so leaning towards the masculine energy that now that I'm embracing the moon, I am able to balance it so much more.
I really adore having the men in this group. It seems like we've had quite a few men, and I just like embracing them. It's because it's nice to see, because what I used to have is all women, and now I've got more of a mixture, it seems.
Yeah.
This series.
Right. So everything that I'm saying, minus probably the hormonal information I'm sharing, men want to follow that too, because then you can tap into your own inner balance too, your inner goddess.
And zinc actually helps men with semen.
Yeah.
And hormone, I think, and isn't there a hormone component to that too? My husband takes that every day. He takes that and sal palmetto, because I think it helps with the urinary tract.
I love hearing y'all talk, because she's a nutritionist
By education.
Yes, and obviously you have this really beautiful knowledge. So hearing you, it's almost kind of, I'm like nerding out here, because these are things, and in my culture, we don't necessarily, we just cook for taste all the time, which is great, but it's not necessarily always serving the body. During COVID, we lost a lot of Latinos due to COVID, because of the way, I think because of the way we ate in our nutrition and stuff like that. So hearing you have these very dynamic conversations, I'm like, wow, there's so much more education that is to be had for all.
Right. And I think that zinc, deserves a huge applause, but, and also we really should pause and talk about the zinc a little bit too. Because zinc, I consider it to be a spiritual mineral. And it's when the sperm enters the egg, there's this spark that happens. And there's this, literally, I mean, scientists have looked at this, and that spark gets triggered by the zinc. So it's we're seeing generations and generations, younger and younger generations, that are having a lot lower sperm counts. And that's part of it, is the lacking in zinc. But why do we get, and it's called palmetto. So saw palmetto is what that supplement that Jeneth is talking about, but that's really a must for prostate health. And keeping the male organs really strong, gonads really strong. But saw palmetto can be used by women also. But, obviously work with your physicians. If you're working with me, you can always ask me and I'll muscle test you on that. But I do muscle test myself on saw palmetto once in a while, because it has this really great properties that not just for men, but it can be very helpful for women's skin. So I'm somewhat obsessed about skin, because I grew up with a really poor skin, really bad skin. I had a lot of food allergies, and my father struggled with his skin. And I just, when you're half Japanese and half really, really white, I know what genes I got mixed with, like what area is my father and what area is my mother. Like I could clearly see it in me. So the skin has always been a major trouble area for me because my father was so white that I would burn as a child. Like, and all my Japanese friends, you know, they're looking at me like, what is going on with this girl? Like she's like a cooked octopus, right?
Oh.
So it was really tough. So I've learned a lot about the skin support, especially for as we get older. But coming back to zinc gets used up. Zinc does about 300 different things in the body, just so you know.
Wow.
So zinc is not just for your gonads and, you know, your skin, but zinc and the sperm counts, but actually zinc is necessary for your wound healing, right? So as you get older, your skin can get thinner and you can bump into something and you could bruise yourself very easily, or you could cut yourself very easily. Well, that's a sign that it's not only that you're low on vitamin C, but you're very low on zinc. But zinc gets used up if your blood sugar is dysregulated. So you're eating and snacking, your grazer all day long. Well, good luck to trying to keeping your zinc at the optimal level, because zinc is going to get used up trying to balance your blood sugar, right?
Mhm.
And then zinc is, I'm just telling you this out of my head. So, you know, there's a lot more here, but let me tap into my head. So another thing would be zinc really helps with the premature aging signs. So hair, nail, eyes, skin, bones, all those things. So that's why if I notice that like a color discoloration starting to happen on my hair, and if I start to see that my hair is starting to show a little more redness, that means the pigmentation or my hair color is starting to deplete. That tells me that I need zinc. And there are particular, genetics that I'm starting to learn about DNA. So stay tuned, everyone. I'll be offering a DNA service as well at some point this year. But when you start to learn the DNA expressions, you can begin to understand, like, okay, there are certain people that need more zinc than other people. And I'm one of those people that need far more zinc than most people. So I pay attention to my hair, number one. Number two is my nails. Okay, so if your nails, and one of the first days questions that came in, I actually watched the first day, the show on a replay, and it was a question about the nails that would chip or thinning, break easily, that kind of thing. You have to look at zinc, but minerals overall, okay? Because your nails rely on minerals so deeply. But if you have any spots on your nails, you're chipping very easily, you got to look at zinc. But the zinc has this great relationship with the B vitamins, especially B1 and B6. So that's another thing you can look at. Okay. So, I mean, those are some of the things. I can go on and on, but I will pause.
Well, so I wanted to bring in collagen. Just when I had my stem cell therapy done on my hip, they told me to make sure that I always took a really high quality multi collagen. And the cool benefits on that was it did help my hair, but my nails became like rocks. It was just like, I never needed that to really trim them. They didn't break. It was just like they just kept growing. So I just wanted to bring that in. And also the other thing, bruising, bromelain has been bromelain was another one that I have really supplemented
I
with.
remember when
I covered supplements.
I remember when I saw you, it had been several months in between time, like almost close to maybe a year after you had started the collagen. And I remember before, and we were talking, and then I went to go, I guess we met up or whatever, and I was like, Janet, I mean, her face was glowing. Her
The skin is good with
like all around the
collagen.
eyes.
I
don't
love
think she
that
knew
stuff.
because it was so
No,
subtle.
she
But
was
I was
like,
like, dude, what are you doing? I mean,
and at the time that was about all I was taking. I do take a few more things regularly now, but it was mostly that
went out and bought some.
multi-collagen. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because it was like they were like, you have to take this on a regular basis because it kind of feeds the stem cells and helps the degeneration of that joint. So just wanted to add that too. We did have
Well,
a
I mean,
question
collagen
about
production goes down, right, as you get older. So But, I think collagen is great. And the side note is that not everybody can handle everyday collagen. So just be aware of that. If you have expressions of herpes and viral expressions, you have to be a little bit careful about the daily consumption of collagen. So if you do start to notice that's getting triggered, you may want to pull back on that. So, and then that's when precursors or building blocks for collagen becomes very important, right? So that's when B vitamins, zinc, vitamin C, and adequate protein. Those are the things that you really want to look into. If you cannot consume collagen very easily and you do have some of these expressions of viral expressions that come up, then you want to do the precursors. You want to do the building blocks of it so that you're not going straight to collagen.
Interesting. Thank you.
We did have a question on the chat that can your hair color be reversed with zinc?
Absolutely. Mine reverses all the time.
Oh, I
Okay.
love that.
All the time. I mean,
Make sure and you have to make sure you take zinc after food, from what I know too. Like it works with food, plus it can make you ill if
A little
you
bit
take it
dizzy.
on an empty stomach.
Yeah, I had that.
Is that true?
So it is. Zinc does better in the afternoons,
Okay.
and zinc actually does really well with food. But once your gut begins to heal and then you have a healthier gut lining, you will find yourself able to take zinc on an empty stomach and you don't have any issues. So if you're having zinc that you take and you feel nauseous, that isn't the zinc's fault, actually. It's something going on in your gut that is impacting how you process these things. Okay, so, and then there's so many forms of zincs out there, right? So I talk about this all the time in my calls and things, but the form that I'm really using these days is called zinc orotate, because orotate is the form that you can absorb the best. So
Fabulous. Wow.
yeah.
Do we want to kind of go into some energetics here, or would you like to
Sure.
take some questions? What's your-
Wherever you want to go, wherever I balance both, right? Science and spirit. So you could go anywhere in this figure eight. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, in this talking about this ending of this flow cycle, this currency, let's talk a little bit about, what it takes to surrender. Would that be the word? And if you lead it, maybe, Masami. I mean, I feel that that's kind of where I'm feeling surrendered to the moment, just in this conversation almost. It seems kind of there's this beautiful flow of frequency.
Yeah, I mean, I do love that you brought that up. I think you're hitting a really kind of a sacredness of the dark moon, right? And when you use the word surrender, I mean, I think if you've done years and years of spiritual work on yourself and you've worked on your own upbringings and you've done a lot of ancestral healings, that word surrender does not trigger anything negative anymore, but when you hear the word surrender and you go, oh crap, or ooh, that's a little bit sharp sounding words for me, or there's like a prickliness to it, then that gives you the chance to say, all right, well, that is the area that I can maybe look at a little bit deeply during my dark moon, because it's cosmically, naturally, physiologically, biologically, psychically, a very welcoming time to surrender, actually. So I wouldn't do a surrendering practice when we're heading towards the full moon, because then you're kind of going against the rhythm of things, right? That's why I love the moon cycles, because there's a time and place for us to do sitting meditations, quieting down, silencing yourself, and using some of that surrender practices depending on who you are. But For me, using the dark moon period for that is even so much more powerful, and you can go into it with ease. But this is where I think women just innately know that. But a lot of these practices that are being taught, they don't bring this into to the equation, right? So it's like you're doing surrender practice every day, or trauma work for 3 months straight. I mean, I work with so many clients that I have to say to them, could you just let go of working on your traumas for this next couple of weeks? When the moon is waning, could you please stop doing all that? And some of them don't listen. And some of them will come back to me 3 months later and say, oh my gosh, you're right, Masami. I have lost it. Like, I went for it for 3 months. I signed up for this 3 months trauma work, and I've been doing all this energy work, and I've been clearing my chakras every day for 3 months, and I'm a mess. And I'm like, yeah, because who wants to clear out your closet every day for 3 months?
Right. Well, I do think there's a
Yeah.
season for doing
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
But people who are like, heal me, clear me, heal me, I really think, okay, well, there's something deeper going on in the psychology of you. And maybe this, is not the time to be cleared and healed. Maybe now is the time to just even collect awareness of these like mental constructs, right? That might be causing you, quote, dis-ease in your life. As I've evolved in this work and through personal development, I really found that my focus has been more on, how is this creating a greater life for me today? And sometimes that evolution goes, how does this create a better life for me, 6 months from today too? It's not that, instant gratification necessarily. It's really what creates a great life for me today. And I find that sometimes you have to go, oh, something triggered me, and let's look at that. But in general, I think people who are constantly wanting clearing, or
working on the
yeah,
trauma.
or make me talk to my angels and call in my angels, I really think there's something deeper going on to that. And
I think,
work.
sometimes the angels need days off too.
Agreed.
Right.
Absolutely.
So just as your guys need refueling, so many of us are running on fumes. And, that can be said about the cosmic world as well. That's what the moon talks to me about. She and I have conversations all the time, like daily, and then I just ask her for help. And she says, listen, I'm half lit up right now. So stop with all your questions, and I'm waning right now. I'm quieting down. So please just stop with all these explorations. And that's something that I'm learning. I'm just humbled by her teachings for me. She is my teacher, and I bow deeply to her. I'm unable to talk about all things and then put it through the moon cycles if she wasn't guiding me through this, and if I didn't surrender to her calling, because she called on me in December of 2019, and I was like, what? I'm supposed to start talking to you, Moon? And she's like, yes, you're going to start learning about me. And she said, you're going to learn the science behind me. You're going to learn the biology and physiology behind what I am able to do. And I thought, wow, and when you pause and think about it, we don't have seasons, like 4 seasons on this earth, if we didn't have the moon.
Or ocean waves.
Or ocean waves, the tides. So when you start to look at it, she started saying, look around, Masami, what are some of the things that's made in 4s? And I was like, oh, 4 limbs? She's like, yes. And I was like, 4 major lobes in your brain? Yes. What about the 4 chambers of your heart? I was like, oh my God, This is
Even the
Amazing.
even the Earth has a latitude and a longitude and also the vertical, whatever, the hemispheres, right? It's
right.
funny. Yesterday we talked with Carrie Hummingbird, and she talked about the four directions, the north, south, east, and west. It's interesting that you've brought that up again, because I had never quite paid attention to fours until right now.
But you did, but the very first time I met you, you were giving a talk on all the different
Oh, right.
elements.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty fascinating as well.
Yeah,
But we
wood.
didn't. But to look at the fours in the way that the moon asked you to, how did you develop that relationship with the moon? How did I
Mm.
mean? That's just
I didn't develop it. She
how
just
did she call you?
She called you.
Can you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah. I mean, one night I opened the curtain and I looked and she goes, "You're ready." And I was like, "What am I ready for? I have no clue what you're talking about." And she's like, "You're going to learn about me." And I was like, "Okay, just give it to me." So then things started trickling in, coming in. And now I'm like, I think of something and I start looking it up, So I'm going down deep into the scientific understanding of it. And then she's been saying to me, she's like, I am forgotten.
I was gonna
And
say not a lot of people are talking about this, and that's why I'm like almost jumping to the camera because I think this is so fascinating. And she knew that was needed.
yeah, and she knew that she wanted her, I mean, she may contact others as well. So stay tuned. But when, but when she contacted me, because I'm not the only one. I mean, there are other ways to look at moons too. But when she touched, she really reached into me. She said, "You're going to bring the scientific biology and physiology side of me," meaning the moon, into this, so that we're not just talking about the moon from the ceremonial way.
Yeah.
She says there are plenty of people that are talking about the folklores and folk tales and myths, and she said, but there, you don't understand. I am with you. I control so much of what happens in you. And I'll give you another really amazing example that I'm learning, like, because I'm digging deep into the scientific studies. And I will give, before I do that, I want to like tell you one of the things that I'm bumping up against, which is like, so, I try to hold two things because I'm East meets West, right? Because I grew up in a totally different culture than the Western culture. I have to hold both. I am not just one or the other. And when I was growing up, the names that the people usually called people who are, they will call me mutts and things like that, mixed child, all that. But one of the things that they used to call me, and they still do, it's called half. Like I was called, you're a half. And I
Mhm.
really dislike that term because I'm not half of anyone. In
Mhm.
fact, I could be the double of you. So I worked so hard to, speak this language as my second language and to maintain my Japanese heritage and my Japanese language. So I worked really hard. So for me, balancing two cultures, two things come naturally, as well as it's something I lean into. And so when I started to study the moon, it's called circulunar cycles. I started to realize there's so much cultural bias behind this. So the people that do study moon in the scientific fields are all located in mainly like Middle East,
Mhm.
Russia, Eastern European countries, Japan, Korea, China, India. Those are the places that they go and study how the moon cycles impact human biology and physiology and hormones and oxytocin productions and melatonin decrease and increase in the brain size and so on. So all those have been studied, but they're oftentimes not studied in North America and Western Europe. And I started digging into it. And then there's this one author that wrote like a Moonstruck or something. She's a biologist, maybe marine biologist. And she even said in one of her interviews that us scientists get ridiculed when we study moon. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, so I can go down that road and I don't have to be afraid of being ridiculed. That's why I took on this role of studying moon, not just from a ceremonial perspective, not only from Ayurvedic standpoint, which, I'm trained in Ayurveda, so it's very important that the moon cycles come into that. But I wanted to bring the Western understanding, meaning scientific understanding of how the lunar cycles impact us. So I mentioned, a few, but even like melatonin productions go down quite a bit leading up to the full moon. And melatonin is like cure, really. It's a hormone, is a neurotransmitter. All roads lead to melatonin, and melatonin is now being studied. And, hopefully nobody's going to make drugs out of this. But basically, this cutting edge studies are coming out saying the melatonin is going to help women with osteoporosis, women with bone density issues as we go into postmenopause. So I thought, wow, this is awesome. But if you could harvest the moon cycles with it, you can actually implement these recommendations based on the moon cycles, when to increase your melatonin, when to pull back on the melatonin. Can you see how amazing this can be the bridge to the medical fields, to how we give people medicine? And, pharmaceutical medicines can be absorbed better at a certain time of the moon cycles than the other time. So why are we doing the medications and supplements at the same time every day, 365 days per year? That must change too. So that's where I'm going with it.
Well, and I think one of the speakers I listened to says Mel puts you to bed and Sarah gets you up in the morning, meaning when the light, hits our eyes, that literally triggers serotonin. And, I've always thought of those two as that balance, right? Of hormones, right? They're both hormones, serotonin in the morning and melatonin at night. So it's just
That's
a
a
way
good
to
way to
think of
remember
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah and Mel.
Yeah. So, along that line, I think this is what I'm really understanding about the circalunar versus, and maybe it's not even versus, and circadian rhythm, is that we operate with both. So what circadian rhythm gives you is a day-to-day, like what Jenith just said about the serotonin and melatonin and also cortisol, right? So that cycles is about generally daily cycles. But what we've done is that we've only focused on the daily cycles. So the solar impact, the yang impact, you could call it the masculine impact. But what we need to do is, like, let's say I said to both of you, I said, well, let's get on the call at noon and Eastern time. And you'll be like, well, that sounds nice, but what day of the month are we going to have that call, right? So what day of the month are we going to have that call is the circalunar's impact, right? So we hold both.
Wow.
It's time and the month, time and the day of the month. So that's how we are operating constantly, but we tend to ignore this side and we go this side. So it's the same thing, I don't want to be ranting here, but well, I am a little bit. So I'm going to rant one more thing.
Love it, love it, love
This is
it.
the place to do
It's
it.
that it's the spiritual community that is so addicted to ascension and light. Darkness is just
And that's it. I mean,
so addicted to it. This is why I wanted to bring up the dark moon period. The darkness is when we heal. Darkness is when our cells can heal. Darkness is when your wounds can actually surrender and heal. This is when you don't do more digging. This is when you don't put more salt on your wounds, but you allow the darkness to heal you. So there's an interesting scientific studies that came out a couple of years ago, and it just blew my mind, is that when the cancer cells become more aggressive, they actually emit light, okay? They don't go dark, they emit more light. So Are we chasing after something without understanding the balance of the yin? It's that figure 8 again. Why are we getting stuck on the light over and over and over, chasing light, chasing ascension, chasing, something that will take us up? It's like stock market. We always want to just go up. Well, you know what? You don't have up without the down, so that's what we're talking about. Going down. I'm more interested in waking down than a waking up as I go into my postmenopause years more and more.
I think so yeah, I'm gonna bring in like a movie that I saw. It was a Marvel movie, but it was the antagonist was a woman, and she had a shadow side of her, and it wasn't till the very end scene where she also had a mother side of her, and the mother side of her went in and hugged the antagonist side of her, that shadow side, and it wasn't till they integrated that darker shadow that changed everything, right? So that they could have that compassion, and of course the world was saved. But I think that there is a narrative there that you are very much speaking to, but we are almost missing it sometimes by only wanting to see the light, right? Like I think that there's a little bit of collective that sometimes, and maybe you could talk on it, we just chase, like you said, chase the light, but then almost like, oh, that's negative, that's dark feelings, and I don't want to feel those feelings. I was told to raise my vibration. How do you look at that?
Right. So the very first thing that we have to really taste it and chew on it and then swallow it and make it into part of your cellular knowledge is that the darkness is just the light that you cannot see.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all that is. It's not good. It's not bad. It's none of that.
And it's not shadow. I mean, the way that the spiritual community uses shadow is different than dark. And I think that's important to say.
I agree.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful.
I have kind of a weird woo question.
Yeah.
I have so I follow this group of in Access Consciousness, and they said that the dark side of the moon is speaking to us now, and it's time to embrace the dark side of the moon so that it can grow in consciousness. Do you know anything about this? I just was wondering if you picked up on this too. Okay. Well, I just thought
No, I mean, I think all of us are, if you tuned into it enough, I think you are noticing that. And the fact is, the NASA and other countries are sending rockets and little ships to the dark side of the moon right now.
Right.
That is the hottest real estate on this cosmic world, right? Is the dark side of the moon. So I think it's not just happening in the spiritual community, but it's really quickly happening in the exploration side of the science. Yeah.
So, yeah. Later in the series, we're talking with a woman named Isha who actually does galactic channeling herself, and she also has worked to interview UFO researchers to kind of validate what she's actually knows from her knower.
Right.
And
Well,
I think you're doing the same.
Yeah. Well, it's we can't deny that there are other forms of intelligence out there.
There are people out there that can deny it.
Well, I don't think this community is denying it, and then I think that's what we're going to see more and more this year in the year of the dragon, right? Is that we're going to see these really different views of the deep down underground stuff is going to come up, as well as way up in a cosmic level intelligence are going to start to resurface again. So, and for once again, it's not anything new under the sun, but it's certainly new to our generation. It's new to this time in its history. So it's a very exciting time to be alive. And I think if you can work on your own inner health, inner cosmic flow, like I call it, right? If you can work on your cosmic movement of different organs and support that journey, you can become a true conduit. And I think that's what ended up happening to me is after years and years of working on my own physiology and clearing heavy metals and clearing toxins and clearing stuck bile, I could speak to the moon because she was always speaking to all of us, but I couldn't hear her. So I took care of this conduit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I want to take some callers, but do you want to talk about the package since you just mentioned bile?
sure, let's talk about
Yeah, do
that.
you want to talk about, let me bring it up I just thought it was
Are we, I'm
so
sorry, it's live call. And are we allowed to like take a little stand up and then go pee break, like 1 minute? Are we allowed to do
most
that?
definitely.
Yes.
We can
That's what we
entertain
do.
this.
Because when women sit too long, our xenoestrogen levels increase. So I think it might be good to just take I know it's alive and I'm sorry.
Shake it
This is
off.
fun
It's too
life.
bad we don't have the
It's all
music
about us.
actually working
Yeah.
today.
I'm gonna shake it off and I'm just gonna go pee and I'll be back in like 1 minute. So
Great.
see you soon.
That's perfect.
Is there any questions that what's
Yeah, that
coming
we
up for
can
anyone?
answer too. I just here, I'm gonna stand up too. Let's vinyasa together.
So if there's any
Too
questions
bad I didn't wear
or
my watch. I could have gotten credit for that.
that one stand.
That one stand. So many questions.
What's coming up? Is any comments? What is this bringing up for you? I know for me, the one thing that I keep getting is that, girlfriend, you got to do more with this body, and
Yes.
I got to learn more about just leaning into implementing some of the things that she's talking about, some of the things that you've even recommended to me because you've seen how I've struggled
Yeah.
with my body and my gut.
Oh my gosh. So I think Lianka has leaky gut. And I had once had that and went to an acupuncturist that had almost cured this within 2 or 3 weeks. So I just
I can't even imagine what it would be like to
to
not
not
have that.
have that.
No, I mean I've had issues since I was a kid. I
Yeah.
eventually
But
quit.
it can also be an emotional thing that
Oh,
you've
sure.
created it from. It probably is an emotional thing that you created
you
it
read
from.
that, huh? But I'd like to not have that anymore, and I would also like to support that
Yeah.
neutrally as well, right?
Yeah, really go down on the journey.
What are we talking about?
Oh, Lianka, I think she might have some leaky gut.
She knows I do.
Yeah.
She's-
But yeah, I know
Well,
she
I mean, okay, so I have to disclaimer everyone. Everybody's got leaky gut. Okay.
That's what I thought.
And the fact is you
really,
get
because I
you
feel
get
like
you get leakier at certain time of the month as well as certain season as well. And depending on what your stress is. So, number one, it's like it's just it is a part of our journey also. So everybody gets SIBO sometime in a year. Okay. Everybody gets kind of inflamed, leaky gut issues, certain time of the seasons, so again, hold it lightly because that's going to also help with the healing process as well.
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah. It seems that she's had some success with some Western meds, but even when we were working day in, day out, when in 2011, 2012, it was just like, I just felt so bad for her because I remembered what it was like to constantly have something bothering me. One time I did tofu because I didn't know any better. And like every afternoon, my belly would be like a Buddha belly, just like fill up with air and.
Well, I mean, Lianka, reach out to me.
Parasites, it could be parasites too.
Yeah, reach out to me, Lianka, because that's the work that I do, right? So, but one thing that leaky gut might be interesting topic for menopause, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause is that we have tremendous amount of estrogen receptors in our gut lining. So as we get older, women will tend to have a little bit more gut issues that will creep up more than ever before. Okay. So that's another thing that you want to pay attention to in terms of estrogen. But, leaky gut can be fixed. And because gut lining renews itself within 3 to 9 days.
Wow.
So if you can eliminate some of the, harmful, who knows, it could be some supplements sometimes, it could be foods, but maybe your upper GI issues. A lot of people that follow me know that I always talk about north to south. I never work on your gut, meaning small intestine, until I work on your stomach. And
Yeah.
I don't work on the small intestine until I work on your stomach and pancreas, gallbladder, and then your liver.
Wow.
You cannot go down to the small intestine and just hyper focus on that. That is the more of a circadian rhythm kind of energy. I hope you can feel that. Right.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Do you guys, if you have questions, go ahead and queue them up. You just have to raise your hand on Zoom and we will take some live callers that can ask questions. If you have asked things in the chat that you want to make sure that we address, go ahead and put it back in the chat. Masami, let's go ahead and share your offer while we queue up some callers.
Carrie says, I resonate so much and have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can we
Sorry,
talk
sorry.
about our offer before we
Yes,
queue
yes.
up some callers? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. Oh, wait. Are you seeing the right screen here?
Mm-mm.
We're not?
We're seeing the top of, there you go. You're good now.
Okay, cool. All right. I was so impressed with this offer, and I don't know. I just think Masami is magic. So,
She's been
of
talking
course,
about-
this would be pretty magical.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it, or how do you want to do this?
You go ahead.
Well, so this was, inspired. Like, this was definitely a download for me when I created this. And this is the course that I recommend anyone that wants to know about my work. And you say, I want to go deeper into this. This is the one that I recommend. So cosmic flow is the word that came to me one day and said, I was having a dream. And in this dream said, you got to talk about cosmic flow, especially you're going to work around the flow of things in your body. And so I created 4 B's. And if you scroll down, you could see what B's mean. So I start the first session with the breath. And so I studied breath work for decades. And I studied with this one amazing teacher in New York City, and, doing yoga therapy, and I'm a certified yoga therapist as well. So done so much breath work, but breath is how I entered into the world of yoga. So pranayama was my entry point, not asana. So not movements, but it was breath, because I could barely move. I was in a really bad place, and the breath changed my life. So of course, I wanted to start with the breath. But I talk about not just the breath work as an inhale, exhale, but the particular way that you get to know your own signature breaths, because you want to understand, just like your fingertips, have your own signature circles, right? Your fingerprints, you have your own fingerprints in your breathing patterns. So I'm not a fan of guided breathing in terms of take an inhale, everybody follow me, and then everybody follow me as I exhale. Like, I don't do that, because it's not my breath, it's your rhythm. So I want you to get to know your breath, so then you can create more flow. And then the second one is all about the brain. And brain, as in brain, becomes so important as you go into menopause and postmenopause and perimenopause as well. But we have higher rates of Alzheimer's in men, women do. And it's really scary what's coming out right now in statistics. 1 in 2 women end up getting diagnosed with some kind of dementia or Alzheimer's by the time they're like 65 and older. So just be aware. So the brain session is all about how do you drain the brain, but drain the brain of karmic looping, drain the brain of any kind of a ruminating thoughts. And even like you've done trauma work, but if you haven't worked on your brain and decrease the congestion in your brain, you're going to be just going back to the same trauma over and over and over because you have not cleaned out the brain. So that's the second one. And the third one is my favorite, because this is when this particular dream I started talking to you all about, came to me and said, you are going to talk about this golden elixir. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this golden elixir that I'm supposed to talk about? And the dream goes, it's called bile. And I'm like, what? I'm supposed to talk about the bile? Like, you mean the nasty bile? And then the dream is like, yes. So I started studying about the bile more and more and more. And I realized how many of us, men and women, struggle with bile stagnation and sludgy bile that can turn into gallstones. So even your gallbladder has been removed, this is a fantastic, especially if your gallbladder has been removed, please take this so that you can learn how to support your bile flow. Bile is amazing. It's golden elixir that it's cleaning you out of viruses, parasites, excess estrogen, maybe heavy metals, some of your anger and agitations and frustrations that have been accumulating in your liver, and the gallbladder that when it squeezes and the bile collects them, you can finally let go so you can become this cosmic flow. And the fourth one is the boundaries, and boundaries in a way that you've never, ever learned before. Okay, so I'm not talking about the regular boundary practices that maybe some of you have done in the past, but it's all about the small intestine. So this is when I talk about the leaky gut, because when you have leaky gut, or in the medical terms, it's called gut permeability. But when you have permeability in your small intestines, your boundaries get really compromised. So I give you supplements recommendations, I give you food recommendations, I give you exercises, movements, tools. Anybody that's taken my courses would attest to this, that I give a whole lot of tools so that you can take it with you and you can become the expert of you on this earth. Mm-hmm. And then it goes on, I believe, right?
And then no, that's the last we've got of that. But if you've got more to give us, we could add it to the package.
I would go ahead and click on the button because it goes up to her page, correct?
Oh yes.
So
does it?
Oh no. So I sent you. Well, I'm sorry that's not.
Okay.
That's not it. I have energy medicine.
And then you've got this energy medicine bundle.
Yeah, the toolkit is amazing. I have about 7 chakra meditations. I have a balancing 2 wings, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system balance, tree meditation around liver and gallbladder. I do breath work to strengthen digestive, and coming home to your body meditation. I have a Soham meditation. I have a free energy medicine and healing summit interview from the Shift Network. I mean, the list literally, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Where did you find that?
Yeah. It was there. It was there. We just saw the little link that we gave for you.
Yeah, I think
I'm like, wait, no. I piled it on there.
I love it. Oh my gosh, thank you. Wow.
Yeah, no, this is like a 10 plus hours of meditation. And I have, so 12 meditation kit, energy medicine, healing summit interview. I have a downloadable PDFs for each session with like so much that you can take in. So do it slowly, maybe do one B at a time every month kind of a thing. But each 4B sessions, it's like, each of them is at least an hour and a half or longer. So yeah, it's a really a huge bundle. So I wanted to put it all together.
Thank you for doing that. Wow.
You and the moon have been busy.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great partner. Yeah, she's a great partner. So join us. Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, you guys.
But it's all there. It's all there. So that's good.
We're going to take a few questions on the chat. Do you want to read them, Lianka?
Yes, let me go back over there. Let's see. Oh, someone says, I've taken this course from Masami. It's life changing. Oh, I have pages and pages of exercises. I mean, you saw me writing right now. Tips, I highly recommend this course, someone said. And I wanted to go back to that question that I was looking at a second ago, if I can find it. But
From Carrie. I think it's from Carrie. It's up
Carrie,
that
if
four.
I've lost your question, you can put
It's
it.
right here.
Okay, you can read it.
I can't though, because
Oh, I'm sorry.
my glasses aren't really right.
Okay, let's see.
Oh,
She says, I resonate so much, and I've been inside this dark mood feeling the dichotomy of what my body needs, but decades of pushing myself, no matter what, how bad I feel, I'm learning to honor my body, and now seeing the cycle brings illumination to what I've been experiencing. And it says, I think she just wanted you to kind of talk on that maybe. Is that, is that what she is experiencing, that illumination, now that she's kind of able to see those cycles?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing the light that you cannot see in the darkness. So that's where you start. That's like a germination period, right? Your seed has been planted and you're under the ground. So don't dig it up too fast, right? Allow the process to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And then let's see. Masami, you don't like salad in winter. What do you think about microgreens such as sweet pea in the winter from like a local hothouse?
Not really, because why are you eating that when it's not in season? That's not in season. And the fact that came from hothouse, that's, to me, that's not living with the seasons. This is the time, the year that I love making cabbage soups, right? Because cabbage family are so happy to be alive right now. So eat the ones that are happy right now. Yeah.
And who doesn't
That
like
makes
toasted
sense.
Brussels sprouts?
Right. With some garlic. Yes. If you can handle. Yeah.
And butter.
Sounds good right now. Masami, I've heard you say that to use iodine for nail fungus. I've been doing that for over a month and there hasn't been any improvement. Do you have any more suggestions for this?
Yeah, you have to work on your gut. You have to work on your diet. This is when things get complicated. You can't just say, you said to put in iodine and that's going to resolve it, because fungus issue is north to south. So if you watched my most recent supplement call, and if you haven't, please do, because if your digestion is off in your stomach, you're going to not able to create an environment lower than that in the small intestine that is healthy for your microbial balance to happen. You're always going to have fungus and yeast and mold and parasites and other viruses that are going to coexist with you with other bacteria. But you need to be really, really working on your whole entire body and using, like Richard chimed in, and that's what I was going to say, but you've really got to take hydrochloric acid with each meal that you take. So betaine hydrochloric acid, I get it from Zorex, but those are the things that you need to be doing, because by the time it's showing up on your toe nails or fingernail fungus, that's a systemic fungal issues. Generally it's not localized. It's actually systemic. So you need to take care of your bile. The bile chapter on that 4B Cosmic Flow course will be perfect, because then you learn how to take care of your bile flow. And, most women are stagnant in the bile flow. I have yet to meet, including myself, that have really good bile flow. And so I would start with all those levels. So it's not just one, just doing iodine and it's not working. Well, maybe you need to ingest iodine. Almost everyone is low on iodine in this country, right?
Yes. And it's so important for breast health too.
Right. For everything, because iodine is used by every cell in your body. Every cell needs iodine. So just applying iodine alone to localize, because fungal overgrowth in your body will show themselves in your nails. So it's a systemic issue, not a localized. Localized issue is usually like bug bites, spider bites, maybe accident. Those are localized issues. But if something is chronic, that's systemic in most cases.
Right.
Love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Any better time of the moon cycles to apply the hormones that you mentioned earlier, since there is no menstrual cycle?
Yeah, so I do go into a lot more details about that. I'm planning on doing a course on that. So I would love for you to look into it. I'll be announcing that shortly. But in general, the leading up to the full moon, you will want to support your estrogen. And then leading towards away from the full moon. And when you are midway towards the new moon, that's when you want to support your progesterone.
You
Interesting.
you talked about some stuff that you put on your neck, the hormone.
Progesterone.
Yeah. Do you have a specific one that you suggest?
So, this is when it gets into the bioidentical hormone, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like pulled out of or the YouTube or any of these recordings to get shut down. So
Sure, sure.
I don't want to I don't
Okay.
want to go into it too much,
I got
but if you do work with me, I will check your bioidentical hormones. Yes, I do use the one from Zorex.
Mhm.
So Zorex International, you can look that up on my website, but that's the one that I use. It's a really natural formula. I mean, bioidentical hormones should be always a natural, but not all bioidentical hormones are made equally. Some of the fillers are horrible. Like some of the carrier oils they use are just awful. So make sure to take a look at that. I also do recommend maybe Quicksilver ones too, but that application, when to put it on and how much to put it on, I have to muscle test you individually. So this is where I don't want to give a blanket statement. This is the how much pump for everybody, right? Because hormones are very bio individual. So we have to respect that side of us, so that's the circadian rhythm versus circulunar, right? I can give you a general statement of as we're leading up to the full moon, estrogen, as going away, progesterone. I can say that because that's kind of a natural big picture, but how much to apply, what to apply, from what companies, things like that, that becomes more of the time, right? So it's like, we're going to meet at noon. It's that kind of thing. It's like, this is how much pump you need for you. So that's going to be different. So I recommend you work with, people that have been doing a hormone work, but also they're knowledgeable in how to support you throughout the cycles.
Okay.
Do you want to read a couple more, or are we about to wrap?
Oh, here's one good
Masami,
one.
do you have time? I know we've gone really
Yeah.
long today.
Oh,
Maybe
I'm fine because I stood up, so I can stand for like next 3 hours, but I know the next person's coming in a half an hour. So
yeah, and I have to let out this little puppy.
That's true. One more. I think we'll take one more just because it's the. Do you suggest anything for someone that has an allergy to iodine?
So allergy to iodine is an interesting one because if iodine is used by every cell,
Oh,
right,
interesting.
it's hard to say that if you are really allergic to iodine, or maybe you need to do some detoxifications first, right? And there's iodine and there's iodide. So you might be allergic to more of the orangey color one, iodine, instead of the liquid, clear kind of the iodide. So you have to identify which iodine are we talking about. And the really good book that maybe all of you want to look into, and I always have like a book recommendations on my recommendation page as well. But one is called Iodine, why we need it and why we can't live without it. And it's from Dr. David Brownstein. So that might be a good book to look at it. And so instead of just looking at I'm allergic to it, therefore, I would go so that's the dark side of the moon, right? That we're doing. We're not just looking at where the moon is lit up, but you take your journey to the dark side of the moon and say, why am I reacting to iodine when iodine is used by every cell in my body, and your thyroid loves it, your adrenals love it? Without the iodine, our quality of our lives will be so dwindled and lowered. So that's the dark side of the moon journey that you may want to take with your physicians or people that you're working with.
Fabulous.
I'm glad I
Wow.
asked. Yeah.
You guys, I am putting the special offer in the chat. if you are looking for that. And I want to thank you, Masami. Oh my gosh, this has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. And we'll have her back when
Please.
whenever it's time again. Seems like we seem to know when it's time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And you guys, if you are looking for the special offer on the replay, it's somewhere on this page. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the caption. All right, you guys.
All right. Are you
Now
gonna
you get all the behind the scenes stuff.
are you gonna show your puppy?
Yeah, you want to go? She
Yes,
was
please.
quiet. I was
please.
like, maybe I'll just leave her for the next hour. I gave her a little puppy bone CBD before we started, but let me bring her out because she'll probably want to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Gosh, there's a puppy bone CBD. Maybe that's what I need to be taking.
Sounds juicy, right? Thank you for, yeah, and for all of that information. I know I learned a lot, and I definitely had all of the things come up and say, Lianka, you've got to be doing more. You got to learn this stuff. It's, it's
Well,
important.
I think the mistakes that a lot of us make is that we do nothing but sample sessions, right? So
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that will show up and they have notebooks and folders full of what I talk about. But until you actually work with me individually, you're not really getting into the depth of it, so I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of sample sessions. I've done a lot of like learning from here, learning from there, doing this, doing that. But until you just say, I'm committed to really going deeper with you're just going to be seeking after information for the rest of your life. So that's one thing I really want to emphasize. I know it's not recorded, so I get to say kind of what I feel, but there are plenty of samplers out there. It's like a Costco samples. Everybody's going through Costco samples and nobody's buying the actual item. So doing courses that I put together, they are so in depth and so informative. And it's so supportive. Like doing things like that is probably the first step, so you're not always just chasing after my interview here, interview there, because I have interviews all the time. So you could be chasing after me, but you're not going to get to the depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, I'm really tired of feeling this way. And I'm tired of being doubled over and,
Right.
So it's got to take a change. It's got to take that extra step of education and not just sampling. I'm done with that, right?
Right. Oh,
and-
there it is. There he is. Or is he?
He and her little paws.
Oh, so cute.
Little face.
All right.
Love
We're
it.
gonna go potty real quick.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think Jen has another family member, but she
I know.
know.
This one's
We're not
only
gonna say
on
it.
loan right now.
Well, feel free to ask me questions, Lianka. Like now that I will stay on for another 5 minutes.
Yeah, I believe everything happens for a reason. I know it does.
Yeah. And, you cannot address your leaky gut till you address the north. Okay. That's a very kind of a limited medical approach. So I hope you're getting the understanding that the circadian rhythm is all about spotlighting things. And the lunar cycles is all about kind of a flood light, like you're flooding the whole space, but not spotlighting it. And so when you take the approach towards your gut with only narrow focus, then you get really bogged down by that. So you need to look at the whole picture and say, okay, what's happening above that? What's happening a lot of times women have a pineal gland, but also pituitary and hypothalamus miscommunications, misfiring to the gut brain connections. So you want to look at that as well. So you're not just going after your gut, but you are looking at how's my brain functioning and
That really resonated with me when you were talking about it, because in my mind, sometimes I know all of this stuff I know that everything's connected because I do this work with you, but when I treat my gut, it's so inflamed and it's like I take a prescription right now for it that I've been on for like the last couple of years, which is almost heartbreaking to say out loud. My husband's like, "You're just treating the symptoms." I don't take it every day, but when it does flare up, it is kind of heartbreaking, and then it goes away, and then I don't think about it again, and then it comes right back. It's like, but
So is that a prescription for your gut lining? Is that what's going on?
it's Linzess. It's for someone that has like chronic constipation, really. So I get the bloating, I get the pain, I get like, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
what am I not moving through, right? What am I what am I full of shit for, right? Like and when you talked about the brain, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm really not clearing my
Right.
karmic responsibility. I've definitely not cleared in that way, or I may not even be acknowledge it, whatever those things are. But I know that's there because it resonated really, really fast.
Well, so, one thing about the medication, right? Going back to the medication is that there's no such thing as a medication not doing it, leaving you with other side effects, right? So
Yes.
every medication has side effects, right? And a medication that you're using, I'm just trying to figure out if this is a cortisol, like a steroid based ones, and I'm assuming it is. So it looks like I don't know how to spell that.
Linzess,
Medication.
Linez,
Do it again.
Lin, Linzess, Linzess.
Okay. Yeah. So you want to know the class of medication that is, so but you want to know when you take any medications, that's going to have an impact on your body and it's not solving the issue. So now I understand that you have constipation. So constipation is it's a big one for as we go into perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause. It's a big, big issue for all of us, including myself. I call myself the constipation queen. So I totally get it.
Yeah.
But it's the peristalsis that starts to really weaken. They don't move through the colon. A lot to do with there's a brain connection with it because the brain is not sensing, they're not communicating. So working on the glands of say hypothalamus and pituitary can be really, really helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah. I got that. I got that intuitively when you were reading that. I went, oh, that's me. That's what's going on. So I raised my hand. Yep. I'll be
Okay.
calling.
Oh, good, good. Well, thanks for bringing that up because that's an important thing. And
Oh yeah, someone said, "Oh my gosh, this is gold."
it's not the record, is it recorded?
No, no, these are just people in the chat. We're just live. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I think it just don't sample so much because I think we in a functional medicine world or even I would say other biological medicine and other medicines that are coming out, we love to complicate things, because more we can complicate the situations and we can put on more supplements, more medications, more ways of testing you. Each time we go and get tested, the stress level goes spiking up.
Oh,
Every
that's
time your stress
funny.
is high, stress is high means you create more acidic environment in your colon,
Mm.
especially the small intestine, and that can really impact the lining of your gut, right? So we have to kind of pull back and say, do we need to be doing all this testing? Number one, I mean, people are like, test, don't guess. But I'm thinking to myself, can we intuitively connect with ourselves? Is that not allowed? So you get it. So, just kind of sitting back, taking care of your brain, allow your brain to flush things out. And anytime there's a constipation, you have to work on your small stomach and
Mhm.
make sure you're digesting. So I don't know if you've ever visited my website, but please go to my masamicovey.com and start watching some of the free videos I have.
Okay.
YouTube videos. I just did supplement calls that were just fantastic. And because if your stomach doesn't have adequate stomach acid, nothing else below works. And then if the bile flow is stagnant,
It feels like it is.
I can tell you, because I muscle test people's bodies, I can tell you
Yeah.
your bile is so stagnant.
I could
Right?
feel it. When I read that word, I go, that's me. And I don't even know what this really means, but I know that's me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, make sure that the bile is flowing. Okay. And then that's
Magical.
that's probably your biggest stagnation point. Okay.
And it
Even
affects
maybe,
everything, even like stagnation in my life, probably, right? Like it's,
yes. You got it, girl. You totally getting it, because that's why the dream said to me, talk about the golden elixir, right?
yes.
If the golden elixir is not flowing, then your life won't flow either. Okay.
I,
Yeah.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Thank you. Yeah,
You're
bless you.
welcome.
And thank you.
You're
This
welcome.
workout
All
today.
right. Well, thank you for all you
Hey.
do. And I'm gonna go out. So I'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Hi, everyone. So Jeneth is doing the doggy. You can hear the doggy in the background. And what a sweet little puppy. Guys, if you have any questions, any thoughts that are coming up for you, we're really excited to continue this journey. I obviously am being very vulnerable in the way that I share. Jeneth has been doing this work for a very long time, and I have been on my personal journey for probably about 12 years. And every time I am with any one of the speakers that we're going to be showcasing here throughout the next 3 weeks live, is always bringing something new. And even if I've heard them before, sometimes, and they could have said the same exact thing, it just lands differently. And I can hear it, I can receive it. And I just encourage you to, be really open-minded and clear anything away that you have any expectations of what this show might be, who we are. If I'm rambling, right? Like, let all of that go and just be with the information, because there's just so many different ways in which the speakers that we have curated specifically for the show and for you to be able to share the information.
Fabulous. And just so you guys know, every day we're kind of taking you deeper into this journey too. On Monday, we talked about the knower. Yesterday, we talked about some of your past and changing those past narratives and worthiness. And today, we're talking about cycles and brought in wealth and prosperity earlier. And we will talk about that a little bit in our next conversation as well with Maria. Then tomorrow, we're diving really deep into shamanic healing with Marie. And we are talking with Courtney and connecting. And she talks about being one with your angels. So you won't want to miss tomorrow. And then next week, I have no clue yet. But
It is very much.
it's one day at a time here for sure.
And everything we built.
You did that with your hand, I think.
Oh, no, my hands are here. But I think that it's the energy of everything too that builds on it. So even if we brought in a speaker to talk about certain specific topics, what we find is that the energy of the group really ends up leading us to exactly what is needed and what's coming up for everyone. So I'm excited to see how the whole series continues to build on each other.
It seems
obviously by no accident.
Oftentimes it seems like we come to these groups and we come together and we just be, and then we just kind of poop out magic at the end. So I hope you're in it for the whole experience. And
Joe says all of our speakers so far have been spectacular, and sounds like that's going to continue. Yes, thank you.
It might escalate even.
Courtney Levins, great. I am in her Courtney Levins So family. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, she's very phenomenal, and just a unique, she is that essence.
Yeah, people say that she's an angel herself. And I was sharing yesterday that when I poop out magic, join Judith Blacker and Leonka Rain and let's poop out magic and rainbows. It would be like that little unicorn in the poopy body.
All right.
Um, Oh, I need a t-shirt. Oh, maybe that's our merch.
That's awesome.
Let's poop out magic. We were actually thinking that we need some hot hustle
funny.
merch.
Someone else is in Courtney's group too. Man.
Oh, wow.
So we've got some
Excellent.
really fun people. I'm excited
Yeah.
to hear more about her work
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Is Maria on yet? Did we check to see if she came on? Maybe we never need to give her a few more minutes.
Oh yeah, she's got 10 minutes, and if I know,
Those of you that have kind of joined this for the menopause chat, we are talking next week with Ashley Biter. I think that's how you pronounce her last name, with the brand by Winona. They actually have doctors that support you as well with hormones.
so they do like a
and
teledoc.
yeah, it's
That's
like a
awesome.
teledoc situation. So if you are looking for support, or you're just like beginning like me to like want more information, then definitely show up for that conversation next week with by Winona. I'm really excited. This girl is only like 26 or 27 years old. And
I was gonna say that.
yeah,
And
that's
she's
funny.
talking about perimenopausal
Already, and hormones in general.
And the publisher and the the various different marketing department, when they were talking about, because they're a partner of ours, and when I was talking with them, she had mentioned Ashley coming on the show. She goes, "You'll be really interested to find out," because we were wondering, she's pretty young for that, whatnot. She goes, "Oh no, she has a very specific reason for why she's younger and why she's taken up, and she's an investor, why she is investing into by Winona." So I am super like, wow, what does it do? What, I'm feeling that, there's a lot of preservation involved, a lot of before and after care. So it'll be a really dynamic conversation. And I think there's a lot of science that goes on behind the scenes that we're going to discuss as well. So stay tuned. Please join us.
Yeah, that sounds.
Or recommend it to, send the link to others who you think might be able to benefit from any of these speakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like all over the mic now.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
My little puppy, I don't know that you guys can hear it, but puppy went back in the crate and now puppy's not happy.
So let's see. I've got a couple more things. Says thank you. Oh, we will look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for joining us live.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, I feel like there's so much going on, and maybe we just need to take a few breaths. I've recently, and we'll add this guy to the series, I interviewed a man named Niraj, and he's from he owns the brand Soma Breath, talking about breath work, and he talks about how breath work can really amp up consciousness. So after this event is done, you will find an interview with him where it's just literally all breath. Oh, I get the platform to myself.
No, we're just stretching for a second. Oh.
Well, let's just, so when I do some hypnosis therapy, and it really truly has become therapy for me, I really start just with breath. So maybe it's time now to just take a few real deep breaths, and as we transition to the next quantum speaker, because I can lead you. We have what, 10 minutes? Okay.
That's a lifetime, especially here.
Yeah. Go ahead and close your eyes. And take a deep breath, engaging your lungs, allowing this first breath to even open up your upper back as you breathe in. And hold it just for a second, and then slowly let it out, allowing your lungs to deflate like a beautiful balloon, allowing all the noises outside of you to slowly go away. And take another deep breath in through the nose, filling the lungs, and then holding just for a second as you slowly let it out. And this came up. We're going to add in the thrum of awesomeness. You may be able to sense it tingling all through your body and your spine. And slowly let it out. And as this frequency goes, just embrace it in the moment. Slowly waking up in a light, letting all your little cells say hello. All those little telomeres wake up, speaking to the quantum entanglements. And let's take one more deep breath to center and ground and be in through the nose, like a warm steam falling down through your entire spine, warming it up, letting that awesomeness just be this frequency of calm and peace and chill. And we'll go ahead and keep this frequency going. Yeah. So, anybody notice any shift there? I think I even made the puppy quiet.
You did.
I did.
Nice.
All right. Is Maria Margaret, you think? I don't know. All right. I think that Margaret's the only one that entered. All right, we're still waiting for Maria to come on the line.
She's got 5 minutes though.
Oh, she does. Any questions on the chat while we wait in these few minutes? Normally, I wouldn't be this quiet, but for whatever reason, there is some peace and silence here. Yeah. I don't want to open, well, I guess Richard said he can recite a poem to offer more peace for the puppy. All right, Richard, but you gotta, you only have 4 minutes.
Got
If you
it.
go ahead and unmute yourself, go for it.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Here.
Okay, this is a poem inspired by Masami
Oh,
called
let's-
Experience Your Cosmic Flow. Experience your cosmic flow from up above and down below.
Mm.
To shine your light from head to toe. Enjoy it all and let it go. you have the means to let it grow.
Mm.
A smile would be so apropos.
That's cute. I like that.
That's so
Then,
sweet.
then listen for a hawk or crow or puppy. They speak to us in ways they know.
Mhm.
We are all one. Let it be so. Aho. That's it.
Wow.
That's cute.
Did
I love
Masami
it.
write that or?
I did. I read it for
Oh,
me. She inspired it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
And
That
Puppy,
will,
did you?
yeah.
Yeah. I've taken classes from her.
Right in
Thank.
time, Maria just entered the room.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
Richard. That was
you.
perfect.
Perfect contribution.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's bring Maria on. There she is. Yes. I see a room. I don't see a Maria though.
She's got 2 minutes.
We're so urgent to bring them on today, huh? Like, come on. But there's
Can you hear me?
we can. We can't see you though.
Okay.
Usually, it's so everyone, just so you know, we are live, and traditionally, if we were doing this not live, we would have someone kind of backstage, and we'd be doing this. But we get to bring everyone on, and they get to do. Can you hear me? And we just have fun with it. We'll start the recording in just a little while. Hi, Maria.
Hello.
Take your time.
Sorry about that.
No, we're good. So we've been on the line since this morning, and we're taking callers. We're just someone just gave us a poem. We're really creating that space for all of our speakers and for you today to really dive in and be with the audience and the questions on the chat and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's about doing this together.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a different concept, and so we dove right in.
I just shared my puppy. It's not my puppy, technically. My daughter came home with this doggy that one of her friends had that I think he got evicted for the puppy. He said he didn't, but I think he did. And so she came home with this dog yesterday, and I have two bigger dogs, and it's kind of crazy to do all this with a little puppy. This puppy's never been in a crate. It wasn't potty trained at all. She's about 3.5 months old, which is so sad that she's not potty trained yet. But so we're trying to crate train her. So just so we're just keeping this raw in between, are we? I wasn't expecting to keep it that raw, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's live.
I know. It's
so-
very live.
Yeah, very live, very, very podcast style. So everyone, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for letting us go live. Thank you for the
your
contributions.
patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes in my interviews, I'm just like, come on, let's get to the meat of things. And with this, it's been kind of nice because everyone is a little bit more laid back and it's like, I'm here to receive. And when it's time for me to receive, I'll receive. And,
Right.
I think in our last conversation with Masami and letting go, it really reminded me that it was time to also, at the beginning of the series, I was like, okay, we've got these 21 days together and these, 12 days that we're live within this 21 day. I was like, what do we want to accomplish, right? And then
That's
we
such a
had the
masculine-
conversation with her and I was like, well, wait, maybe we can just be present and see what unfolds and we'll poop out magic.
I'm always embarrassed by
It
that word
seems
for
like
some reason.
whenever we used to do our live events, that is how it worked. We had a topic, here's kind of the bullet points of what we're going to talk about on these 3 days. And then at the end, it was like people were like, Oh my God, I feel so weird.
And it
You
was,
left yesterday kind of feeling weird.
yes, I was definitely outside of my body. But you know what's crazy?
Mm.
Because this is Raw podcast, I haven't been working out the way that I hadn't been working out. I hadn't been working out like
Yeah.
exercising because we've been working on this for so much. And so I still do squats and stuff like that, but it's kind of half-assed, if you will. And yesterday, when I did finally get back into my body and acknowledge that we were on a different timeline, I got up and went to so we have a gym in our house, like how
Yeah.
no excuses, Leonka. So my husband and I said, "You want to work out?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we got in there. I ran for about 20 minutes and then we did weights. I mean, it was a good hearty workout and I was buzzing afterwards. And
Yeah.
I know it's because we shifted some stuff
And you
in my
needed to
body.
just shift.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So that's so fun.
You guys, I'm a swimmer and I have this like a treadmill swim spa out back. And my husband bought me these bone conducting headphones. And I still haven't had a chance to use it. I just started loading it with music, but I can't wait until after today is done and the emails are out and I will be swimming until my heart's content with these bone conducting headphones.
That's exciting. Maria,
Yeah.
how are you doing? Let us know when you're ready for you.
Yeah, we still have you on mute.
Yeah, I'm here, and I'm sorry, something's going on with my camera that this doesn't seem to want to turn on. I apologize for that.
I think, it's important just that we move. When I was
Yeah.
with my hip and when I was stuck, I mean, although I would exercise with crutches, kind of, I'd be like, let's go.
Oh, I can see you doing that. I really can.
And I would do other things to kind of get some, exercise in,
Mhm.
usually in the form of sex, though.
Nice.
Hmm.
And that it creates magic actually.
Right?
There you go.
Moves things.
It
It moves
does.
things for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when I was so stagnant, it's like everything was stagnant. My energy was stagnant, my emotions were stagnant. It's just like, no, we need to move. Bodies like to move.
Yes, my
Yeah.
body was so happy with
Masami's
me.
like, stand up. I was like, I've never had somebody leave during an interview. She's like, it's
She's
a
like-
pee break, right?
She's like, this is live, right?
I
It's like,
know.
actually, she's right. This is, getting in here.
Right?
Yeah. And I think that's really fun. I think it's just a different format and
Uh-huh.
allows people just to be who they really just show up and
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
And however, Maria, we can do this if
We
you
can do
want.
it with
We can do
audio. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and do that, so that we can just get going.
I literally had some settings set on my computer where it had a little slide. I did not know this. It had a little way that was blocking the actual camera. So and I just had to like kind of flip it back. But I'm pretty sure it's just one silly setting and
Yeah,
it'd be all
probably. When I flip it back, I just get nothing. Like, this is what you see right now. So yeah, why don't we just,
we
I'll
can
just
do
put a nice background and we can get started.
it. You just have
So
to
you
promise
keep
me.
changing the pictures.
Yeah, you have to promise me you'll come back then.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and start the recording and make it official, and we'll just go ahead and
We can leave it pinned on us.
Okay, cool. I'm going to unpin you. Remove pin. And then I'm just going to go ahead and
We're gonna
hit
do it raw, y'all.
real raw.
Mm-hmm. This is how we used to connect back in the day, right?
I know. Somebody said, is there dust on your camera?
Right.
There must be some kind of setting new. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay, well, here we go. Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Blackard,
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
and this is the Hot Hustle Show. And today we're talking with Maria Martinez. Martinez, and she is not on camera. She is just going to join us audio only. Maria, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Such a pleasure to be with you, ladies. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a real radio show now.
Right? We've just taken our first live caller on the Hot
Yes.
Hustle radio show.
Caller, you're live. Go ahead. I used to be in radio. Maria, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you, and we've looked. We could give you the whole bio, and we could talk about what you've done in the past, but tell us a little bit about how you got into the work that you are going to share with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I was really fortunate to be aware of my gifts from a very young age. I would say about 5, 6, I was already working with my angels and my guides. I was already doing spiritual work in the astral plane. I was unaware of what was happening. I was just sort of observing everything until probably 8, 9, where I realized that because they started coming in into like every day, like afternoons, they started coming in regularly. So I realized that there was something different going on. And I talked to my parents, and they were not surprised. We come from a lineage of shaman, so they were not surprised that this was happening to me. And it just kind of became part of me, and that's something that I publicized at that young age, especially since I didn't have a lot of training outside in the 3D. I had a lot of training in the spiritual world because my angels were already mentoring me at that point and guiding me to do different types of healings. But when I went to college, that's when I realized I really need to do something about this, because I was often in different dimensions, often in a different plane, often have visitors from different dimensions in my room. And so it was really affecting my college experience.
How are those studies going?
Yeah, so I finally came home one weekend and I told my mom, I said, this is not going away, and it's, shows up whenever it wants. I need to have some mastery over it. So we found our first mentor. We actually didn't find her. She was already part of her life. She was a shaman that we worked with. And when I started working with her, I actually recalled, and she mentioned to me that I had been initiated into shamanism about 8, 9 years old. There were certain initiations that we did with her in her group to create healthy boundaries, so that we stay in our own energy, we stay in our own body, so that our spirit is connected to us. So my journey had actually started with her in that early age, but now I was conscious about what I wanted to do and intention about what I wanted to do, and we started working together. And the first thing I started with was tarot, and that evolved into many different things. And now, well, actually, I would say when I went through my divorce, it was, as you can imagine, for many people that go through that, so it was a very hard, difficult time where you're experiencing so many different emotions. And I was still doing that work, which required me to basically do an exorcism on spirits and then retrieve them back and bring them back to their bodies. And it wasn't really joyful at that time, especially with what I was going through. So I decided at that moment to create a different relationship and a different agreement with Source, that I would still do my soul's mission, but I would bring more joy into my life, and I would do more things that I love. So that's when my purpose started really to kick in. And I decided that I wanted to really help women transition from wherever they were going, whether they were feeling stuck, whether they were coming out of a divorce, whether they were switching from one career to another one, to really find that level of joy, that empowerment, to find their purpose and their intention, their next level of purpose, and really step into it. And what that also entailed was stepping into their abundance, to have the freedom of choice, and to have the freedom to create the life by design, and to have that awareness that everything that they desire was already part of them, that they were just learning to step back into it. And that's the work that I still currently do, the work that brings me the greatest joy, that I really love doing. Yeah, helping women and men really step into their highest potential, access their gifts and their divine right of fortune, and then bridge it into the 3D to manifest and create and design the life that they desire, and share that with the world.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And-
Go ahead. You go.
I already asked. Go ahead.
She's like, no, I won't go. Maria, I know that you call yourself like a potential activator. What are there any common themes with potential activation that you found with people?
Yes, so I call myself a human potential activator. And what I've noticed is that a lot of times we are creating from the unconscious self. We're kind of going with life. We're a lot of times in survival. We don't realize what's available to us or the power that we have within us to create. And that's part of that human potential is first to realize our full power and realize that we've lived in survival and what others say is possible, but we can push through that what is impossible and become and create that as our new reality. And in doing so, we're actually jumping timelines. We're letting go or we're stepping out of the current timeline and we're stepping into a new timeline as we move into that higher potential and the higher intention. And then we access more of ourselves. We access more of our bandwidth, more of our capacity, more of the energy that's available to us. So we expand our energetic containers as well. And we access even further. And a lot of us do, especially if we're healers, we access more of our clairs, our clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsight, all of those clairs. And we begin to use them and create more of what we desire from that higher wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When are there people that can't do this?
No, everybody can do it. This is available to everyone.
Say that because some people say I've tried all kinds of things and I just can't get there. But you say that everyone has this, right? It
Yes.
wasn't, yeah.
Yeah, I love that question. I love when people ask me that question because when they say I've already tried this or I've tried all of that. So we have different levels of ourselves. We have our mental body, emotional body, energetic body. We have our soul or spirit or light body. And a lot of times when we say we've done that, we've done it from that mental or emotional state, but we haven't really accessed the soul level or the energetic level. We haven't aligned our vibration with what we're creating. We haven't tapped into the power of our soul, the power of our spirit, the ancient wisdom that our spirit has available to us. So a lot of times when people say, I've tried everything, they were in the doingness, not in the beingness, the beingness of who they're meant to be in this world. So there's that. I'm sorry?
Were they not just really, I get the essence that maybe they weren't really embodied. They were doing the busyness of it, but they didn't really drop in and embody the work.
Yes, so they weren't in the embodiment of their soul's potential and spiritual wisdom. So they weren't accessing that part of themselves. The other thing that I've noticed is that when people say I've tried it, they're going through the motions of it, and the intention wasn't quite there. So sometimes the intention is missing and the alignment. When we get up and do, we're still in survival. But when we align with what we truly desire and we move into that powerful intention of there's no other way, I'm succeeding, I'm doing this and it's happening, things turn out very different. Sometimes what I notice too is that there's fear, so there's blocks. There are fears, doubts, insecurities that play a role in our level of achievement or level of success. So when I hear people, I did all of this and it's still not happening for me, they're still running anger, they're still running frustration, they're still running fear, they're still running doubt, they're still running insecurities. So those are preventing them from fully being in it. Yeah. So they're playing one foot in, one foot out. So when they become aware of that, then they can embrace their totality. They can transcend and heal those parts of themselves that are not allowing them to play fully in, and then fully step into what they were trying to create and manifest.
So Maria, this audience is like the Navy SEALs of consciousness here. So, what you're saying is kind of elementary to us, and it's perfect, and we would like to take it just a lot deeper than this. And I know that you channel and you help people clear out some of these frequencies that are keeping them from really truly being themselves.
Mhm.
I call those, distractor implants, a lot of the blame, shame, regret, doubt kind of frequencies, some of the fear frequencies. How would it best be to support you to work with some of the callers or some of the energies on the group line so that we can clear out some of the noise that's keeping us from truly being us?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times what I do, if I'm in a show like this, we'll take calls. People can ask questions and I can read into what's going on with them, their specific thing, or I can do a group reading and a group clearing. Either
Let's
way, we can
let's
tap
start with
into,
the
yeah.
group reading first so they can kind of experience your work because I'm not really sure they even know what to ask at this point. So
Mhm.
would you be able to tap into everyone listening now and in the future and do a little work on some shifts and changes?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just going to ask everyone to take a deep breath and kind of step into this beautiful, powerful container that is this group now. Okay. So everybody coming together. Okay. Lianka. Lianka.
Hey everyone, it's Lianka. How are you? Let's see, start the video.
You see the stream, right? So it's just my computer died.
Hi. So Maria, I'm gonna pin you back and you can unmute yourself and go ahead and continue the clearing.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me okay?
Maria, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, ask to unmute.
I am unmuted.
Oh, you can hear Maria. Perfect. Okay, great.
Okay, good. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into this space, this beautiful space that we're on in this moment of now. Yeah, so for the group energy, what's coming up, it's interesting because when you made that statement earlier, Lianta, can you hear me okay? When you make that statement earlier
Yes.
of, we've been on this journey and it's not happening, that kind of triggers something within the group, like almost like a memory. Oh yeah, that I can relate to that. Or I remember I tried this and I tried that and it didn't quite work to that full extent. So when I look at the group energy, there's still a little bit of that. There's a little bit of disbelief connected to what is possible for me. There's energy and frequency around even anger and frustration, even to this conversation about new possibilities. So what we want to remember, first of all, is that you're the creator of your life. What we want to remember is that your thoughts create your emotions. Your thoughts, emotions create your reality. So first of all, let's go ahead and all of us open up to a new possibility. Go ahead and take a deep breath and just release whatever you're feeling in this moment. And let's go ahead and open to a new possibility so we can tap into that energetic vibration that is new possibility, new potentiality, new probability within you. Go ahead and take a deep breath. And again, just allow yourself to step into this beautiful space of creation. Yeah, so the other thing that I'm sensing and noticing is that there's an energy that some of you are carrying. And it feels like the weight of others, like others' projections into your field, other belief systems into your field, other stories that you're carrying that's also not allowing you. So sometimes what happens is that we look around us, and I'm sure you've heard this, I mean, you're the average of the people around you. And some of you have that energy, that program of the people around me, I'm the average of that. So we're going to elevate beyond that. We're going to delete and uncreate. We want to step into a higher level of abundance, a higher level of knowing, a higher level of creation. And we want to access that within, because it's not outside us, it's within ourselves. Okay, go ahead and take another deep breath and expand into your higher level of awareness that is already you, that it's already available within you. And when I look at the unconscious mind, the group energy, but it's really your own individual energy as well. There's fear about the future, and especially what you're hearing around the world. There is fear about what you can create or able to create based on last year. So we want to do a reset here. We want to reset. We don't create the future from the past. We create the future from the now moment. And in the now moment, we want to move into harmony and peace. In the now moment, we want to move into abundance and prosperity. In the now moment, we want to move into everything is available within me. Go ahead and take another deep breath, and we're going to access that energy in your power center. We're going to access that energy in the heart space. And we're going to move that down also to the sacral area and the root chakra. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Miyakesh odunku umayat iyakana matushtu kusheneke ika dianamoku unamatishtikishiki it ikash to kuruma kadamakuda tirika kukashtu keneke teterekiu kumayutu kiudu tona nanatushtu kushiyete kiyamaku uka ishtana nanutu kushiyete kishtike yamakuku iranutu uka at anayete teshtike kukurut iteka mashtike yete kike. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. For some of you, your heart space is tight and constricted. Take a deep breath and allow yourself. This is a gift that you're giving to yourself. Remember, you're the master of your destiny. You're the center of your universe. You're the creator of your reality. So go ahead and choose now to give yourself a gift. And the gift is allowing new possibilities. So as I'm saying that, I can feel you opening up, although that energy is still around your shoulders. So go ahead and just shrug your shoulders and release that. Even if you don't know what the future is going to be for you, even if you don't know what the future holds for you, go ahead and tap into your new possibility. Now, the way we create is being clear about what we want, creating the vision of our lives, becoming aligned with it. And we want to align all of our wills, our divine will, interpersonal will, our soul's will, and our powerful will. We want to align everything so that we're not working against ourselves. We want to align with what brings us the greatest joy, what brings us the highest level of soul nourishment. We want to nourish your soul. And what is completely aligned with the universe, what we're here to create in the highest good. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. But I can feel some anxiety coming up, like you're stepping into something more powerful. And exactly, you're stretching from the point that you came in, wherever you were, to the next level of you. So go ahead and release that anxiety. You're safe. This is a safe place for you. You're safe, and you're safe in your body. You're safe in your environment. And it is your divine right to have, to choose more, to create more for yourself. Whatever that is for you that you want to create, go ahead and allow that to be so. You're the only one that is in your way. You're the only one that is keeping it from you. Even if there are attachments around you, even if there are entities around you, you are allowing that to happen by not stepping into your power and claiming it. So as you step into your power and claim it, I'm going to help clear whatever is around you. Go ahead and take one more deep breath and go ahead and bring your hands to your heart space. I am at peace in this moment. I am at peace in this moment. And go ahead and allow harmony around you to harmonize all your multidimensional bodies into this intention. You want to align all your multidimensional bodies into your new intention, which is wealth, abundance, prosperity, perfect health. Go ahead and open the doors, push the ceiling. Go ahead and take down the set points. One more deep breath. I can have it all. So for some of you, that statement feels foreign. You're not able to connect to it at this point. Go ahead and take a deep breath and go ahead and bring that statement. Everything is available to me. I can have it all into your field. There's a lot of resistance here to having it all. So we want to dig into, we want to pull out the programs that you have to work hard. We want to pull out the programs that this has to be difficult, that you have to be on a journey of trying and efforting. We want to move to the moment of I can have it all because I am creation. I can have it all because I am divine essence. I can have it all because my divine fortune is already within me. I can have it all because abundance is part of my nature. It's in my DNA. As creation, I am infinite. As creation, I am overflow. As creation, I am abundance itself. So we want to move to that point, that stillness, that 0 point energy, the original creation. Everything else is an illusion. All the effort, all that trying, all the survival, that's an illusion. That's what you bought into. So we're going to delete it and create all of that. Go ahead and step into that light, the light of your soul. Find that stillness within your heart and feel the pulsing of the light within you. This is pure essence, pure possibility, pure potentiality. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And give yourself permission to connect to it and embody it. Go ahead and release the gap and the separation. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone, including yourself, to know that you can have this, to know that this is your true, authentic self. One more deep breath. Miyako yaku anayete teshtiki uk amarate dianato dorite keki aradatat ushtinegeta. So we're pulling from the spine all the way down to the tailbone and from the back of the chakras. All those old programmings, including betrayal, including abandonment, including rejection, that is connected to you feeling like life has to be hard, or that you have to try, or that you have to effort, or that it takes time for you to have. We want to release all the timelines. We want to bend time. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Give yourself permission to have. Give yourself permission to receive. Give yourself permission to receive the blessings that are available to you. Give yourself permission to expand your energetic containers, to hold everything that you desire. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. So I can feel some of that resistance falling off of you. I can feel across the group, just the release, you dissolving it, you letting it go, you're choosing it. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Choice is your superpower. Every day you get to choose to have an amazing life. Every day you get to choose to be in gratitude. Every day you get to choose to create a new reality for yourself. Every day is a new day. Every day you get to be more, have more, allow more, receive more. So go ahead and lean into that superpower. This is available. It's so easy. You just choose every day. It's so easy for me to create. It's so easy for me to flow in gratitude. It's so easy for me to flow in joy. It's so easy for me to raise my vibration, to expand my energetic containers and receive more into my life. It's so easy for me to open my channels of receiving. It's so easy for me to embody my soul wealth. It's so easy for me to tap into my higher wisdom, my ancient wisdom, that knowing of who I am in the world and all the information and knowledge and wisdom that's available to me to create that. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Yet it ish. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Again, feel into your heart space. Feel the pulsating light within you. Notice the color, notice the brilliance. This is your true authentic self. Now come into the center of the head and feel yourself surrounded by the light. You are the authority, the master creator. Go ahead and take one more deep breath and go ahead and look up through your channel. Notice the light and the connection to source, to your higher knowing, to your higher wisdom, your connection to your light star. This is the infinite and open channel that you can use in your communication to download new information, to create more, to access your divine fortune. One more deep breath. Now go ahead and state again, I can have it all. I'm a master creator. Abundance is all around me. Abundance is overflowing within me. I am a gift to the world. I am at peace with who I am. And go ahead and notice your vibration. Notice the sense of joy around you. Notice the sense of possibility around you. You're vibrating at joy, possibility, potentiality. This is your blank canvas. This is when you get to decide what you want to put into it, because you get now to design your life. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And let's go ahead and tap into the level of creativity in your sacral area, the divine feminine. Let's go ahead and tap into the flow and the grace and the power and the passion and the abundance of the divine feminine. I can see that some of you are hesitating moving into that area. Many of you haven't been in that area, and many of you shy away. There's some shame connected to it. And some of them have been so much in the masculine energy that is difficult for you to drop into. So go ahead and just take a deep breath. And when you exhale, drop into it. It is safe to be you. It is safe to be here. It is safe to be in your body. It is safe to connect to your divine feminine and to your divine masculine. It is safe for you to access the power of who you are. It is safe for you to access the power of creation within you. It is safe for you to manifest, to overflow in abundance and prosperity. It is safe for you to have all that you desire, to birth new ideas, to birth a new reality, to birth a new way of being, to be seen in the world, to have a voice in the world. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And let's clear all of those emotions that are there. And there's some trauma that we want to clear as well from this field, from this chakra. Take one more deep breath. And some of you is lopsided, so we want to go ahead and rearrange it to its ideal location. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Let's go ahead and repair it. Kuro maya dia kuro kora dia ka. Numa yutukuru tudini ki urata tu shuyo koro tuniete karakatu tuduna yate stikiri ni amaro. Morutu kuru titiri amakote tiaraka. Turutu kora rananiete stikiaro ko. Yanara ok namaratet ik inaratet uk namarakit uk. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Then feel the alignment from your crown. Above your crown, your channel. And go ahead and feel the alignment through your heart line all the way through, coming down. You as the authority, as a sovereign being. See yourself moving through, coming in, owning your beautiful body, your temple, moving into that space, the sacred space. Even feel your body swaying a bit. Beautiful. Now go ahead and move all the way through to your root chakra, to the place of sufficiency and thriving, the place that is connected. This is the bridge to your manifestation, your connection to Mother Earth. Let's go ahead and just drop down into your root chakra. It is safe to be in your body. It is safe to be your authenticity, your brilliance, your magnificence. It is safe to have abundance and prosperity. I can feel some of the limitations, the money stories around you. So we're going to go ahead and clear this as well. Some of them are from this lifetime, some of them are from other lifetimes, and some of them are ancestral. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And again, continue to drop down into your root chakra, owning every aspect of you, feeling safe in your body. This is your temple. This is your vessel. This is how you express yourself in this lifetime. Love your body, love yourself. And go ahead and move your energy all the way through so you feel it through your feet. So you feel your feet firmly planted on Mother Earth. Hello, Mother Earth, here I am. Here I am to express myself. Here I am to fulfill my soul's mission. Here I am to create my new reality. Here I am to be in divine partnership with you. Go ahead and feel that energy, your intention of what you're now creating, what you're now moving into, closing that gap between that you and what was separate. Go ahead and bring yourself in. Feel yourself again firmly planted on Mother Earth. There's a heaviness in your root chakra. It feels like it's shame and blame, but there's other things here connected to, other things that you've suppressed. So we're not going to have any judgment, and we don't need to dive into it. We're just going to be aware and acknowledge it. See yourself, bring your hands to this area and notice the shape of it. For some of you, it just looks like a big black ball. For some of you, it has a different shape or a different image. Go ahead and imagine, perceive yourself, bringing your hands down, getting a hold of it, and then bringing it up and letting it go. Here, source, this is what I was using to sabotage myself. This is what I was using to block myself. This is what I was using to not be in my body. This is what I was using to not show up in the world. This is what I was using because I was afraid of my own power. This is what I was using to not create in this reality. This is what I was using to hold back. This is what I was using to spend my time in the higher chakras and not be in my lower chakras, not bridging them down to create the life and the abundance that I desire. So we're letting go of all the excuses. We're letting go of all the trauma. We're letting go of all the attachments, all the stories, and we're moving into responsibility. We're moving to, I am responsible for what I'm creating and all the choices that I make, conscious and unconscious choices. And in this moment, I'm choosing to thrive in my body, to thrive in my space, and to thrive here on Earth. I am choosing. So you're stepping into that light warrior now. You're stepping into that powerful self, that powerful energy. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And go ahead and claim what you want to claim now. What is it that you're up to now? What is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to have? You're saying yes, yes, yes to Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is saying, whatever you want is yours. I'll support you. I'll be here for you. I'll facilitate for you. I've been waiting for you to ask for this. Go ahead and take a deep breath and go ahead and define that. Declare it. Decree it. One more deep breath. Go ahead and create. Naratu meyete kiara niak oro tiakiki urak anamata tishtiki irinini ti uk amara no kiara nana shete kiki ku uk anatutustike miano no tiaka ak ashayanete. Again, feel the intention in your body. Feel your alignment with your own power and the power of creation within you. Feel your alignment with your soul and your spirit. Feel your alignment with your heart as the authority, as the sovereign being that you are, as the mighty creator. Accessing all of your potential. Bringing into this reality from across time and space your ancient wisdom. Okay, one more deep breath. Realizing that everything that you desire is already available to you. Lean into that now. Lean into that now. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Yeah, I can feel a lot of the release from the root chakra. It's like opening the bottom and letting everything fall out. Beautiful. One more deep breath. Now, as you're firmly stepping into your intention, be very clear about what you want to create. Be very clear about what you want. And be all in. Be all in. Be bold. Be courageous. Be fierce. One more deep breath. If you could not fail, what would your life look like? Failure is an illusion. Failure is what happens when we distract, when we avoid, when we move into fear and insecurity. But that's not part of you anymore. That's an illusion now. You can just acknowledge it and release it. That's not an option for you anymore. One more deep breath. Go ahead and feel the expansion of your light. It's almost like you ignited the flame of your spirit and your soul. Feel that and feel the heat from your body. Feel the power within you. Feel the intention. Feel the clarity. I am in this moment of now. I am. Beautiful. 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 Just be in it. Harness it within you. Integrated it. It's becoming part of you. It's becoming your natural state of being. Beautiful. So you're going to continue to run this energy of flow, alignment, authority, sovereignty over the next 24 hours. Allow it to integrate. Every day, choose new possibilities. Push the reset button. Dream into your biggest dream and take action with it. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. When you're ready, you can come back to your awareness. This will continue to integrate for you. You will continue to release layers that are not in alignment with where you are now. Every day, hold that space of creation within you to continue to elevate your vibration into more and more, to continue to match what you desire. Choose joy. Choose gratitude. Embody gratitude. Embody abundance every day. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I was feeling like I was going to have to knock Nyank. I can't even talk now. She was like going to pass out on me, man. She was like, her eyes were rolling back. I was like, stay here. Stay here. I need you.
The language I resonate so much with. It moves me through the body, and I thought, oh my goodness, she is in there. I said, this is interesting.
I'd love to hear some of your comments on the chat for sure. My
And if anyone has any
gosh,
question, you can raise your hand too.
that was quite profound.
Very profound.
Thank
And
you.
I
Oh my
almost am so
gosh.
excited that you came on audio, because that we were
Just got to
able to
listen.
be with you without using the other sensories. And I think that your work is so well received in audio as well, right? So because we were able to receive you with the language, with the energy, we really were able to be right there with you. So it was amazing. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. Oh my
Gosh,
gosh.
like Carrie said, that was so powerful. I am very grateful for that experience. Anita said, it seemed like it was all just for me. I know that's how
Yeah.
I had the tears too. Someone else said, let's see if I can get up there. She said, that was so beautiful. It brought tears of joy. Wow. I mean, I didn't want to embarrass myself, but I could feel like the tears wanted to come through, like as if when you were saying all of the things that this is what I hold, this is what's been keeping me back, this is what I, all of those things. And it was like, yeah, I could feel that. And it was like, I don't need it. And it was a releasing. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Whew.
Maria, golly, I'm so excited for sharing your package here today, because you put together, I actually did it by hand, and I put it, we have a team, but you and I had already worked behind the scenes, and you had so much material there that I wanted to make sure that I got it all in front of everyone and laid it all out beautifully. But this is, I mean, gosh, if this was just one 30-minute session or 20-minute here with you,
Holy cow.
my goodness, this is going to be epic for a change. So thank you for putting this together for us. And I'm going to put this on the screen. Will you tell us a little bit about some of the thoughts?
I can put it on.
Oh, you can put it on? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeneth is going to get it put up here and in the chat. And then if you walk us through kind of the thought process, and also what people have been receiving when they work with you. I mean, look, like I said, if that's just a mini snippet of the type of gosh, the type of energy you're moving, girl. We're gonna have some really consciousness, like we're just gonna be a team over here. We're gonna be changing some worlds with everything.
We're already changing
Yeah,
Yeah.
worlds.
everything and everyone we're talking to. So super excited. And I know I will be diving more into your work as well. So thank you.
And also, Maria, pimp out your website. Somebody asked if we could follow.
Outside
They
of the
just want to
space.
follow, like,
Yeah,
yeah, Instagram.
you have a lot of YouTube, very
Whichever,
insightful
yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, wherever you're at.
Yeah. So my website is 360 Prosperity, and my Instagram is also 360 Prosperity. And my YouTube is also 360 Prosperity. So
Okay.
if you look for 360 Prosperity in most of the platforms, you'll find me. I think the only one that it's at Maria Martinez might be TikTok.
Yeah. This is it.
Beautiful. Yeah. So, whenever I come on a show and there's going to be an offer, I actually, it's divinely downloaded. I have a lot of content, but the way it comes together, it's for the group energy. So just the way I tune in today, I tune into the energy of the whole platform and who's going to participate at the moment live and who later is going to listen to it. And then it comes together as just this beautiful and energetic alignment where when you say yes, even at this moment, there's something already happening within you. There's already an activation happening within you. So first of all, thank you everybody for being here and for saying yes to more, the higher possibility that is available to you. And this course was created to take you further into that, to unleash your true essence. We did a little bit of that today when we started diving into, your multidimensional bodies and going beyond the first level of consciousness to the higher levels of consciousness and helping you bridge and helping it be your nature by feeling safe and being at peace with who you are. So in this program, what we're going to have it's a series of MP3s that are going to help you continue going in that deep dive. So the healing river is to help you shed those layers of pain. We manifest so many things in our physical body, that the emotional, and that's why I like to look at the multidimensional body, because they're also connected. Our thoughts can manifest in our physical body, or emotions can manifest in your physical body. And a lot of times they keep us from stepping into what we're meant to be and what we're meant to have. So we start with that. The healing river is to help you wash away those layers in the physical body and emotional body that are keeping you from fully expanding your energetic container to receive. And then we move into enhancing your capacity to be able to receive. A lot of times we have programs and limitations and stories around how much, and we set points and we set barriers to that. So this is meant to help you move all of that and open up your heart space so that you can receive. And as you give, receive even more. So what we want it to be is we give and then it comes back tenfold, right? So that we're amplifying our abundance and we're amplifying what we're creating for ourselves, our generational wealth. And then we want to look at what's in the way. What are the little parts of us? So we move into number 3, inner child and adult trauma. We want to look at what's in the way of us actually being in alignment. If there's a little part of us that fears success, if there's a part of us that's overwhelmed, if there's a lot of part of us that feels not enough, you're going to feel that resistance as you're creating. It's going to show up in avoidance, procrastination. It's going to show up as feeling stuck or fear or overwhelmed. So we want to hear those parts of us, like the inner child or even the adult trauma, across personalities, so that we can move into alignment, into having and creating. And then we want to activate our money manifesting chakras. We worked on those a little bit.
Always.
Yeah. So really all our chakras are abundance, right? But the ones that we create in the 3D are the lower chakra. So we want to work on the 3rd chakra, which is your power. which is your power to really be in alignment and take action and drive and stay in that confidence and that courage and that boldness and that determination to have and receive, to do whatever it takes for you to live in that joyful life. And then we want to access the creative nature, which is your second chakra. And we want to feel safe having it and manifesting and building it so that we can build that foundation of more. And then we move into prosperity mindset. So we want all of the bodies, your mental body, to participate in this as well by releasing the old programs that are there. But we also want to go deeper into the DNA. What is the DNA? What is actually not yours that it's in your DNA that we can let go of? What are their ancestral belief systems and contracts that you have that are not allowing you to be in that mindset? Sometimes we have contracts of honoring the pain and suffering and the poverty of others that are unconscious. So we want to dive into that. And then we move into uncreating our karmic attachments, our past life cords, any other ancestral entanglement that we have that is no longer serving us, so that we can live for ourselves, live our life, create our life, not the life that others design for us. Beautiful. And then we move into raising our vibration. So this is when is the embodiment where you're choosing joy, you're choosing happiness, you're letting go of the negative thoughts and negative attachments and anything else that's in your field that is unconscious, that you came into this lifetime or you've carried in your field and in your DNA, like witchcraft, black magic, anything that is suppressive or oppressive. And you start moving into the higher vibration of who you are, that ease of joy, that ease of grace. And then we move into wealth and prosperity consciousness. So this is the way you think every day. This is the way you make decisions every day. And you move into becoming more of the observer. So you're moving into your mastery by looking at how you're making decisions. When we make decisions from lack, even though we're thinking about abundance, they cancel themselves out. So we want to be conscious of our wealth and prosperity consciousness. And then we move into activating the prosperous goddess within us. So again, we're tapping more into our divine feminine. Our divine feminine or second chakra is abundance, is passion, is overflow, is creativity. So we want to access that. We want to feel comfortable with that. We want to own that part of ourselves. Even if you're in a male's body, if you're a man, this is available to you, just the way the masculine energy is available to us. But we want to have a good relationship with it. And especially as women, sometimes we have shame around our body, or sometimes we think we have to compete. So we have to be in the masculine body. So we really want to tap into that beauty, into that grace, into that overflow. That is the abundance and prosperous goddess within us. And we want to tap into the cosmic prosperity as well. And then we want to move into activating our divine feminine. So this is more of our sexuality, our sensuality. This is the passion. So that's number 10. And so they work really well together. We want to recognize our patterns. Again, this is continuing the mastery. What patterns are you still running? And then becoming the observer and course correcting. So you're now rewriting every day. You're rewriting new. You're rewriting that new chapter, new chapter, new chapter. You're cleaning the slate, and you're healing all parts of yourself, including your own money wounds. And in this, the number 12 is conscious business. So this is especially if you are in divine partnership with Source, or if you have a business for yourself. Everything is energy and everything has consciousness. So as you're creating, you want to align with the consciousness of your business so that you're working in alignment and your business mission, soul's mission, is the same as yours. And when that happens, you create abundance, prosperity 24/7 because it's working for you.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
One of the things that really helped me grow my business was looking at it as another entity. When it's like an idea, it's sort of like inside of you. And then when it starts growing a little bit, it becomes its own entity. And I started talking to my businesses
I love that.
instead of it actually being, like just an idea and all me kind of thing.
Because it has consciousness.
Right, because it has its own consciousness, and a lot of people don't talk about that it has its own consciousness. So I love that you put that in there.
I do too.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, beautiful. And developing that beautiful partnership like you did.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and then we move into the live events. very similar to today. We're going to address you being in alignment, having the clarity, being on purpose so that you can manifest your desires. But we'll look at the in-between as well. We really want to continue this process of alignment and being all in and being intentional and tapping into your abundance that's already available to you, but also tapping into the abundance, that the cosmic wealth, the cosmic abundance that is the universe, that is you. So we're taking this to a new level. And we have 2 of these live events because we want to make sure that you're creating what you desire and that your vibration is able to hold that. So you're able to hold the vibration, the energetic space for you to have that. So you move out of, I tried that, didn't work. So we want to move into, of course, everything, every step that I take, every action I take is so in alignment with who I am, my desires, my vision, my soul's purpose, my soul's mission, and the universe, that it just fits. So you have that available to you. Beautiful.
And bonuses.
Yeah, so we have a couple special bonuses. These are meditations that are going to support you in the in-between for you to continue to unlock your wealth and your prosperity, your soul wealth. We were created to express ourselves fully and to have everything that we desire, not to suffer.
Yes.
Not to work hard. So this is about remembering that aspect of yourself and tapping into your soul wealth and unlocking that within you. So that also helps you move into a different frequency and access more gratitude and see the abundance. So you're also removing those filters from your eyes. So you're adopting a new perspective, the way you see the world, and activating the source of abundance. So they work really well together. They address different aspects of how you're holding your abundance and the perception of the world. So they're working at the mental, the energetic, the emotional, and the spiritual level, all to help you unlock everything that's available to you.
And all these modules are downloadable, right? Except for the live.
Yes.
They'll get the live if they miss the live call, they'll get the replays though, right?
Absolutely. And when you say yes, your energy is already there. Your energy signature is already part of it. So even if you miss, you're already up leveling, upgrading. And when you listen to it, you further integrate.
I got chills.
That's so beautiful. And I want you guys to know, with all of these special offers, if you are a part of the lounge, which we'll talk about in a minute, you do get 10% off. But I just wanted to put that in there because we didn't talk about the lounge because I was dealing with puppy.
Yeah. But so the lounge, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
in
well,
a minute,
let's finish up with Maria. Yeah. Wow, Maria. I'm in awe and shock, and thank you. It's like incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, are most of those audios, do they have light language in them? Or are they? Okay, fabulous. Because I feel like that's kind of what people are liking.
I know my body liked it.
Yeah, mine did too. It's like, oh, okay. Let's receive this. This is yummy energy. Absolutely. You guys, I have posted the link to Maria's special offer in the feed. If you're watching this replay, you will need to wander on around that page that you're watching on, or if you're on YouTube, you're going to look in the caption to find the special offer link. You have something else to say. Yes.
Someone wanted to know if that's what you call the language that you used. We've heard it referred to as light language. I don't know if you have a term or anything that you'd like to share on that.
No, it's light language. Yeah, it's beautiful frequencies that come in that are audible to me, and I translate them or I repeat what I'm hearing. Yeah, and it's intentional. And if you notice, there were variations of it, slight variations of it, depending on what we were working on. So there's a frequency that comes in with that sound that is activating at the DNA level, and energetic level, and spiritual level, and soul level within you. And it's very beautiful. The way it comes in, for me, it's a color, it's a symbol, it's a sound, and then I translated And sometimes, I explain what it is and what they're saying and what we're working on. And today we had a little bit, our time was a little bit short. So just wanted to make sure you received it today.
Oh, we received it.
Yes.
Wow. And now, do you ever ask or have you ever requested like what galactic council that this comes from?
It actually comes from different ones, depending who's working with us. So today we had Arcturians working with us. We had Pleiadians. We
Okay.
had Venusians working with us as well, especially when we were working with the goddess energy, the divine feminine. And we had Syrians and Lyrians, especially when you felt like the power in your power center, like the heat in your body. So a lot of times they come in to work with us. But you also have your guides that come in to work with you that are also, they have access to these higher frequencies.
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. What an incredible call. It's
And
like
it'll
she blew out the text system over here too. I mean, my
That's what I
gosh,
thought.
that was crazy. It's like as soon as you started going into it, we lost, all the technology. It just and we went over to our backup and we're back. It was so great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well,
There's
you.
a question
you.
here. That's a question. Do you need to complete the modules before the live calls? You actually don't have to complete the modules before the live calls. So the live calls will begin in a couple of weeks, and you'll have access to the modules as soon as you purchase. You'll be able to download the first 8, and those are purposeful because I want you to integrate those first 8, and then the other 2 will actually come after. The other 4 will come after the live calls. So you'll spend some time in that new frequency in the live calls. You'll upgrade, and then we'll go into the other modules which will also have the higher frequencies.
Beautiful. I guess the other question is how long should you take to consume this offer? Because it seems like it might take some integration. How many times should you listen? Is there any like rule of thumb with that?
Normally, I send them out once a week, and I was guided to make them available to you. So you can go one by one, starting with the first one in order, and give yourself at least a day in between. So do one maybe in the morning, give yourself a day in between, and then do the next one. You can give yourself a little bit more if you desire, but at least a day in between one to the other, so you have a full day to integrate it. Once you complete them, you can go back and feel into which one feels like it's going to continue to build that new foundation for you, the new state of consciousness for you to support you, hold that higher vibration, and then go to that one.
Yeah. Anita said energetic zap, and I really resonate with that because I feel like, my gosh, that was an energetic zap.
Woo.
Woo.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've felt like this, like just like,
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. It's like I've done this for a while. I have a pretty big container here, but geez, that was
Maria's
quite
coming
the
in fast.
zap.
I love it.
Zip.
I love it.
Well, sometimes light language is so much faster. Lianka and I was saying that we both, we kind of do it in our private play lives. We don't really do it
I haven't
publicly.
done it publicly before, but it is very similar. So when I heard you, I was like, my body wanted to move, and I was like, I don't really want to be embarrassed. But I
Yeah.
knew,
Yeah.
and a lot of our souls do know the language internally,
Yeah.
even if we haven't heard it through our own selves, our own.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that seemed like Arcturian. That's why I asked, because it kind of has that healing frequency to it too. So,
Yeah,
wowzers.
absolutely.
Oh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Maria. Any final
Absolutely.
words, Maria?
Yeah, I want to, first of all, thank you for all of you who are here, and thank you for stepping into this beautiful, powerful container and saying yes to you. That's it. That's the first powerful choice for today, right? For the rest of your life. And every day, keep making those powerful choices of, I am the embodiment of abundance and prosperity and perfect health. And keep leaning into that. And I invite you to come in and dive further into that beingness, that awareness, that alignment, and to keep raising your vibration and closing that gap between, everything that is into I am. I am all that I can be, and everything is available to me in my reality, and bridge all your soul wealth into this 3D world. So I invite you to come and join us and participate and have fun. Have fun. Have fun with this process. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Phenomenal. Absolutely
and-
phenomenal.
And you'll be back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure to work my agenda.
Maria, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll
That
let
was
you
beautiful.
go so you can enjoy the rest of your day. Such a beautiful thing that you shared with us, and we'll continue to play together. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, you guys, I just kind of, I was thinking that this is what happens when I go to bed. I do like these meditations, and then the universe and dragons come in and they're like, oh, you know what? This is what you need to do next. And so I really wanted to take a minute and talk about the lounge. I feel like we've touched on it just a little bit, but I felt like, I really want to invite you to play and to be a partner with us in this journey. And this is not just, a little tiny thing where you get 10% off if you pay $29 a month or whatever. This is really quite the epic, program that we want to put together, and we want to really create with you guys. So much with you. I'm really looking at this as like we come together, and each month through both of our calls, yours and mine, we poop out some magic. That's my new word I'm going to say all day today. But it does include priority access to the events. I know our events are small now, but the vision is a lot bigger than this. You also get 10% off all the special offers, and that does include future special offers as well. You get all of my calls from the previous season that I've done, as well as this season. So this number is just going to keep going up. You have like all the archives. You can get whatever you want. And then Lianka is going to do kind of your clearing out readings through QHHT.
Through a blend of QHHT
HHT
and Akashic Records. And I call it Akashic mapping because we've all been upgraded within our DNA recently. And so we all know this, right? This is, we have callings here. And so what we've done is through our records, we have a guide map that we will help take you through. But sometimes there are some stuff that comes up in some past lives. Whatever those blockages are, they could even be manifesting as physical ailments today. We can look at those. And we'll clear away some of that stuff that is preventing you from going to that next leaps and bounds, that quantum leaping.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been doing this work for almost 30 years at this point. So, and you've been doing it for about 20. So we're not new, if you haven't noticed, to this work. So I really am an expert at, some of the real world stuff like NLP and hypnosis, but I'm also, an energetic channel, and I really can often see vision that people can't see. So I do the other side of what she does. She takes you down, clears out your past, and I kind of help you create that future vision in life. And you're going to get a sample of some of my work towards the end, as well as Lianka's. So if you're like, yeah, I'm kind of on the fence, you can wait. But the biggie would be you want the 10% off now for some of these offers, because some of these offers we've really worked hard to give you something really, really phenomenal.
Yeah, for each speaker.
Yeah. And there's these bonuses. We talked a little bit about the archives, but you're also going to get a one-on-one for 20 minutes with either me or Lianka, whoever you choose, per each quarter. So, we'll start this in,
That right there is just
first,
more than worth
we'll
it.
start this first week of April. Come June, you can have a session with one of us. There will also be some surprises, like I want to mail out some books to you guys, and I feel like if you stay a few months, you're going to get some treats in the mail and things like that, because I just like to give back. You also get 50% off our one-on-one sessions. I do hypnotherapy sessions. They are $350 each, but they're kind of like 3 sessions, and you do get a recorded MP3. We have a conversation. We talk a little bit about what needs to change. And then I audio record a hypnosis session. You can be on the line or not for that second part. And then the third part is you actually get the MP3. I have you work on it for about 2 weeks at night. They're almost meant to fall asleep to. And after you experience the hypnosis, then I will talk about if you guys want a bigger package or something like that. So that just so you know how that works. Right now, this is the lowest I think I've ever charged for anything. I mean, it used to be like everything was $97. That was the lowest. But right now, if you join before March 22nd, it's going to be $29 a month. And that's grandfathered in.
For as long as you're the member,
Yeah,
right?
for as long as you're a member. And then
And you'll continue.
it will, next summit, it'll be a little higher. I think ultimately we're probably going to land on that 97 a month, though,
But
is
you're
kind of the
still
vision right now.
grandfathered.
But you'd still be grandfathered no matter, if it's a year from now, you'd still be grandfathered in.
Isn't that amazing?
So, I mean,
Every time we
I
have a
put my
season-
heart in the copy of this page, by the way. So, I just felt like it needed a little bit of attention, and I wanted to do it during the break, and then Puppy came yesterday. So,
Because Puppy chose you.
I know.
So choose.
So,
Choose you.
so if it calls you, we'd love for you to be a part of it. And I just wanted to take a little bit of time and really kind of let you guys in on unlocking your infinite freedom.
It's gonna be fun.
I know that this is all like a sampler set, and there's all these offers with all these speakers, and you may not know what to choose, but tap into you and you choose. But I did feel like I did need to walk through it and really invite you in, was what my dragon said. They haven't yet felt invited.
Well,
So-
and because it's an actual, like, we are coming on the line. This is, not recorded, just, yes, you can get the replays, but this is gonna be an actual community. This will be the space, the safe space. It's a lounge, it's a haven, it's a support each other.
It's
so
really
very
a
much
place
an invitation.
just for you to
Grow.
ask and receive.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I just thought I would, and if you have any questions about that, and we're probably going to pop off right now, but if you do, want to email the team, it's team@hothustle.com. If you have questions, if you're, on the fence, whatever it might be, definitely do it.
I feel like I
So,
know some
yeah,
of you already.
So I have dragons all over my body, by the way. I wrote a book called 7 Dragons, A Guide to a Limitless Mind back in, when was that? I wrote it in 2007.
Wow.
That's how long I've been playing with dragons.
Well, this is the year of the dragon.
And this is the year of the dragon, man. And I'm coming out full of all
See,
my
don't you wanna
dragon
play?
energy.
Yeah. And you get to hang out with dragon.
I know.
You get to really go on this bigger journey, and we're gonna facilitate you the whole time. Like walk hand in hand. Like we're growing, you're growing, and this is like a collective, a whole lot of work. And also one of the things I don't think that you mentioned is that they'll also get the audios from the upcoming summits, because this is not going away. We're having,
that's what
we're going full on in. I mean, obviously,
this is kind of the launch for the talk, what we're calling it a talk show, but it's kind of the launch for that. So after this ends, we're going to probably take a week break, but then there'll be a couple interviews a month, or guests on our show.
She's saying
every month.
But there is going to be more guests on our show, more giveaways, more
It's just
partners
gonna keep growing from here.
100%. So we're really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, with that said, I think this is a wrap. Check your emails for the replays, and if you need anything, we're always here. Bye for now.